Yep, we are live. What's going on, everybody? How is everybody doing today? Welcome back here today to the trade deadline live stream. Yeah, this 2025 trade deadline is going to go down in the history books. This one, we may never see something like this again, where we saw a top 5 player in the NBA get moved in Luka Doncic in the middle, I guess you could say the beginning of his prime as a 25-year-old. We saw Anthony Davis, still a top 12 player in the NBA, get moved in that same deal. And we've also seen just countless major trades left and right, which is just kind of mind-blowing, honestly, for everything that has happened. So, yeah, what's going on, everybody? Would love to hear your guys' thoughts about the trade deadline in the chat so far. Like, we've seen Brandon Ingram get traded. We've seen Jimmy Butler get traded. We've seen Zach LaVine get traded. De'Aaron Fox has gotten moved as well. Yeah, what's going on? I don't know why the chat is not working for me right now. It's not loading properly, so hold on a second. Let me see this real quick, and then if I do this. Oh, yeah, what's going on? What's going on? I don't know if this chat is updating now. But yeah, what's going on, everybody? Yeah, I remember when people were saying this was going to be a boring deadline. I kind of did too. And last year, I tweeted this out today that my first video last year after the deadline was a new look Knicks rebuild with Bojan Bogdanovic on the cover. Yeah, how different 1 year makes, because I just did a Jimmy Butler Warriors rebuild on the 2K channel. I still got to do Brandon Ingram Raptors, post Brandon Ingram Pelicans. You have Zach LaVine Kings still to do. So we have about 3 hours, 2 hours and 58 minutes until the deadline concludes, and what's going to wrap up a crazy 2025 deadline. So there's still plenty of guys that could end up getting moved for sure. I don't know if we're going to see Kevin Durant get moved. Speaking of, Brady Decker, thank you for the $2 donation, man. I think the Suns are going to make a move because I didn't have the standings up, so I should pull that up. So yeah, the Suns right now, sorry, Brady. Yeah, thank you, Brady Decker, for the donation. The Suns right now are the 10th seed. They're 500 on the year. They lost 2 games recently to the Blazers, and they just got blown out by the Thunder. This team is barely a playoff team right now, let alone a team that's going to win a playoff series. And I don't know what's going to change for them, because they've been this is what they are at full strength. Last night, though, or Kevin Durant didn't play last night. He did roll his ankle semi-recently. They still have Bradley Beal coming off the bench. I mean, I don't know if they sabotaged that locker room, but I don't think it helped when they were trying to get Bradley Beal out of there. And for him to waive his no trade clause to get Jimmy Butler. If they got Jimmy for Bradley Beal, I think that would have been really good for their playoff hopes, or at least for them. The problem is, even if you get in as the 7th or 8th seed, I don't think they were beating OKC in a playoff series. I just don't see it whatsoever. They got swept by Minnesota last year, and their guys mainly got older. Yeah, they've added Nick Richards, they've added Royce O'Neal, Tyus Jones, but still. Hey, Biscuit Buddy, thank you for the $2 super chat. Do you think the Spurs make another move? I would keep an eye on the Spurs, because I do think the Spurs would like to go after Cam Johnson. I think they would like to go after another big as well, just to address the backup center spot with basically Zach Collins in Chicago. The backup center for them, last night, I mean, yeah, it's Jeremy Sohan getting backup 5 minutes. Yeah, they could definitely look to add another backup 5. I think that could be something we see. Dissolve, thank you for the donation. What do you think the Rockets do? To be honest with you, I thought the Rockets should have at least, gone a little bit more aggressive for De'Aaron Fox. I think they should have gone, I think they should go after Cam Johnson, because they could use another shooter. But I don't think they're going to make really any notable moves. I think they want to stick with what they have right now and accumulate as many assets as possible to go out and get Devin Booker or Kevin Durant in the offseason. I think maybe they could get KD, but I don't know if KD wants to go there. Dara, thank you for the $2 donation. Raps fan, any positive angle to the BI trade? I mean, for a player of Brandon Ingram's caliber, you paid 50 cents on the dollar what he should have realistically gone for. It's just that New Orleans traded him about 2 years too late, and you're getting somebody that has a great playmaking wing, one of the best mid-range jumpers in the league. I worry about how the spacing is going to be, because RJ while he's been like a good 3-point shooter since he's come to Toronto, it's dipped down a little bit. Scotty Barnes, like, he can be inconsistent with this 3-point shot. So I do wonder how the spacing is going to fully be on the floor because Jakob Poeltl isn't a shooter. I just, like you're going to pay Brandon Ingram most likely $40 million a year at the minimum in the offseason. So you're going to be over the salary cap with Brandon Ingram, Emmanuel Quickley, RJ Barrett, Scotty Barnes' massive extension kicks in next year, and Jakob Poeltl. I don't even know if that's a top 4 seed, 5 seed in the Eastern Conference. Maybe I'm wrong when Emmanuel Quickley's fully healthy. Another year of development for Dick, Walter, Mogbo, their first round pick. But I don't know. I think it's a little risky for this team dynamic to invest $200 million or whatever into Brandon Ingram. Thank you for the $2 donation, Joshua. If the Spurs made a big 3, who's the third guy? I mean, you could really think of whoever for San Antonio. They have the assets to go out and get Devin Booker down the line, Zion Williamson. Maybe there's somebody that we don't think ever becomes available, and they do, because they want to play with Wemby. Thank you for the $2 donation, Call Me. Sorry, your message got retracted. I'm not sure what it was. Isaiah, thank you for the $5 donation. We got over 1,000 people in here. Thank you all that came out. I don't know if you guys got school, work, too, so I appreciate you guys coming in here. Thank you for the $5 donation, Isaiah. If there's any chance Zion gets traded, if so, what teams would be interested? I thought maybe, like, the Spurs would make some sense, because, I don't know. Like, the Spurs could easily get to Zion, right? Easily could get to Zion. I just don't know if they would want to take that risk. I think, like, I'm trying to think of teams that would trade for Zion Williamson right now. I don't know if the Rockets would, because, like, I don't know how him and Şengün would work out in that front court. I'm sure teams like Miami, Milwaukee would be all over him. I don't know if Cleveland would. Orlando, probably not. Atlanta would be something with him and Trae Young. Philly, I don't know if they would take a chance on him there. They have one star that doesn't play. So we'll see. NF Rich, thank you for the donation. How do I feel about the Mark Williams deal? Dude, the Mark Williams, like, I fell asleep last night. Like, I'm dealing with the flu right now. I got like 104 fever. I woke up today. I just took like Dayquil before this. I'm hoping I'm able to make it through this stream. There's a chance, like, depending on how I feel throughout this. But yeah, this trade, is it updated on ESPN's thing? Or NBA's tracker? I don't think so, because I don't know if it's official. But yeah, we had Mark Williams go to the Lakers. And when we're talking about centers that could be paired up with Luka and LeBron over there, I don't think anybody came up with Mark Williams. And they went after that Mark Williams, Jalen Duren archetype. They're under team control for one more year. And Mark Williams is like a really good physical center inside when he wants to be. There could be some defensive lapses out there. And the problem with him, like, he's insanely talented. It's just injuries. 43 games rookie year, 19 games sophomore year. Missed a bunch of time to start off the year. But since he's come back from injury, he's been incredible. Like, you look, I mean, I guess he didn't have like the greatest output like last night, but you look at some of these games he's put up. He had 38 points against the Grizzlies for a center that can't shoot the ball. So that's like really impressive. Braden, thank you for the $2 donation. Pacers do anything? Your gut says no. I think maybe if they could find an Obi Toppin for a backup center trade, that could be a little bit better than like Thomas Bryant. I thought maybe they go after like a Kelly Olynyk. I don't know if New Orleans would want to do that, like Obi for Olynyk, maybe. But yeah, I don't think that they really go after anybody either. Let me do this real quick. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I don't think the Pacers are going to be making a big move because obviously they made a big one last year. And I think like they've been playing well as of late. I think they want to just keep it going, hope to get a little bit more healthier. Rendell Sanchez, thank you for the donation. Can we see an Orlando Magic trade machine? Need them to make some moves. Send a shooter to them. Thank you. Now, I like them going after a point guard because I like Jalen Suggs potentially playing a little bit more off ball. If we went to like the Orlando Magic, let me do this real quick. I like the idea of going after Dennis Schroeder. Don't hate that. Shouldn't really cost them a lot. I like the idea of Cam Johnson because you can easily get there with like Jonathan Isaac's contract and you could trade them to future first round picks. You got the Jett Howard contract, or that asset that you could throw in this deal as well. I don't know. I don't think they want to move to Silver or anybody like that. So yeah, you would be moving like Jett, maybe Jonathan Isaac and 2 first round picks. That's one shooter. I don't know if they can meet Chicago's asking price for Kobe White, but that could be another shooter that's only making $12 million. Like I said, though, it's tough. I mean, he's only making $12 million. So, like, I guess you can maybe do Tristan Da Silva, and Gary Harris, or excuse me, Jet Howard and Gary Harris. And you may, I don't know if you'd have to do 3 first round picks. Will 2 get it done? But if Chicago's willing to do that, I would be interested in that. Thank you for the $5 donation, Justin. What do you think the Warriors need next year to get them over the hump, assuming this year's a wash? Dude, I don't know. Like, I recorded my Warriors rebuild, and it's really tough to figure out where this team can go in the Western Conference. Because, like, same issue with the Suns. The Warriors are 25 and 25. Thank you for the $5 donation, Biggs. I appreciate that. Yeah, a couple people calling this my flu game. Yeah, this is basically my MJ flu game. Snow day on deadline day cinema, Biggs. Yeah, that is insane. That is elite. Sorry, I was reading the Warriors chat. Thank you again for everybody like donating. I really appreciate it. But yeah, like this team is heavily invested. Sorry, in a 36-year-old, 35-year-old, and a 34-year-old. You really need Kuminga to either take a leap or you have to trade Kuminga in the offseason in a bigger deal to add, I think, a more respectful score. I'm scared about Jimmy Butler making $54 and $58 million in his age 36 and 37 seasons. Is he going to lose athleticism? I'm not sure. Trevor, thank you for the $5 donation. Thanks for all the content. No problem, man. Spurs definitely need a backup center. Who would you like to see the Spurs go after? Yeah, I think, like, I don't know. I think Orlando, like, has a couple, but I don't think they're trading Goga at the moment unless you really blow them away with an offer. I mean, going back to Portland, Robert Williams could be out there. $12 million, easy contract to match. I mean, Vucevic as a backup center would be elite, but you're probably not meeting that price. Day'Ron Sharpe, Nick Claxton from the Nets, but I don't know if I'd want to pay Nick Claxton that much money to be my backup center. Trying to think about some of these teams. I mean, Jonas Valanciunas could have made some sense, but he got traded. I don't know about Marvin Bagley. Yeah, I would say Robert Williams would probably make the most sense for this team. Out of all the teams, that would be like trading a center. Why did nobody sign Markelle Fultz this season? I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure. The Biscuit Buddy, thank you for the $5 donation. The Spurs might already have a big 3 with Wemby, Fox, and Castle. Zion, if healthy, would be a big 4, in my honest opinion. Dude, that Castle dunk against Atlanta was so sick. It really was. Yeah. Justin, thank you for the donation. What do you think the Warriors next? Oh, I think I answered that. Call me. Thank you for the donation. Be honest, does Luka look cute in purple and gold? Dude, it feels like 2K still. It doesn't even feel real. Will the Cavs make a trade? DeAndre Hunter, rumored. Thank you, Fresh, for the donation. I think the Cavs should look to try to upgrade and consolidate, or basically go from like 3 of their wings to like 2. And if they can upgrade slightly. I don't know about DeAndre Hunter, though, because the Hawks, they haven't made a move yet. And they're a team that should be making a move because they don't own their first-round pick at the end of the year. And they've been playing some really bad basketball as of late. So they're like on pace to give San Antonio a nice top 10 pick. Your voice sounds high. I'm not sure. We got 1,800 people in here. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. You think there's a market for Jeremy Grant? I don't really think so. He's making too much money right now. What do you think about Schroeder to the Rockets? I think so. Like, I think they can look for another backup point guard, but like, I don't know. They have a lot invested in, you could say, Fred VanVleet or Amen Thompson. Glad the Bucks didn't bite for Beal. Yeah. What's up, Kyle Parker? How we doing? Zion to the T-Wolves. Well, the T-Wolves are another interesting team because they have not been a playoff team this year, or at least it looks like it. Randall's hurt. He's missing a little bit of time. DiVincenzo's out. They're a second apron team. Naz Reid's a free agent at the end of the year. Randall could leave. Like, they were 28 and 23. Like, they are a little bit of a tier, like, record-wise above Dallas, Sacramento, and Phoenix. So I don't want to discredit them. And they have Anthony Edwards, one of the best players in the league. But I do think they should explore a Randall trade. I just don't know who wants Randall. I don't know if that's Detroit. I don't know if that's Atlanta. Teams that, like, Detroit could look for another guy to help out Cade. Or that could be Atlanta because they don't want to give San Antonio their first-round pick. Or, like, a high first-round pick. Jack Christos, thank you for the donation. Do you think the Bulls trade Kobe White? I think they only do it if, like, the right offer is there. If they're willing to get 2, maybe 3 first-round picks. It's just, like, he's making, what, $12 million over the next, or, like, this year and next year annually. 12 and then 12.8. He's, like, showing that last year really wasn't as a fluke with a shot. So, I think if they get, like, 2 nice picks, they would do so. But I don't think they're going to look to trade him until the offseason. It seems like they're kind of done for some reason. Noah, what's up, man? Giancarlo, do you think the Pistons will still make a deal with all the second rounders? They should, man. They should try to get Cade some help. The Knox, thank you for the donation. Mark Williams gets more injured than AD. Makes no sense. He does, but if you hope that, like, the injuries are past him and how good he's looked this year, he's 23 years old. He fits that timeline with Luka so well. And we've seen Luka make so many centers look so good. Like, he's made Lively look good out of the gate. He's going to make Mark Williams look fantastic. Dylan, thank you for the $2 donation. What do you think the Sixers will do? I don't know, man. The Sixers have been making some weird moves. Like that trade before with Reggie Jackson. They traded him with a protected first-round pick. I'm not really sure what first that is. Someone can let me know in the chat. And for Jared Butler in 4 seconds, like that was just a weird trade. Weird trade. And yeah, Davion Mitchell traded for PJ Tucker. Hopefully AD plays tonight. It'd be cool to see like this team, not at full strength, but like Kyrie and AD playing together. We're almost 2,000 people in here. Thank you guys. If you could drop a thumbs up on the stream. This is basically my flu game. This is my MJ flu game. And then you guys are gonna have to let me know if there's a trade that happens because I'm not gonna be. Last time, yeah. I'm not even gonna say it. Oh, it's a swap. I know they have like a swap with each other in like 27 or 28. It's the worst of OKC and Houston. Gotcha. Reggie Jackson's terrible. Yeah, I get that. But, like, I don't know. I guess they get 4 seconds there. And they get Jared Butler. And they didn't get the other Jay Butler they wanted. Has Jared Butler been playing for them? I feel like he had, like, a random good game this year. Like, he did have, like, a 20-plus point performance, right? I'm not... yeah, he had 26 points against Philly. So Philly saw that and they're like, yeah, we're trading for you eventually. Who could take Vucevic? I mean, I think the Warriors can still kind of trade for Vooch. But I don't really know if that would make sense for where they are asset-wise now. Jaden Fitch, thank you for the $2 donation. Walker to my Lakers would have been better. Yeah, Walker Kessler I think would have been better, but Danny Ainge probably wasn't doing that. He was already pissed that you guys got them in the 3-team trade to get Luka to LA. But thank you for the donation, man. We had over 2,000 people in here. Thank you, everyone that's come out. But yeah, this is actually the craziest trade deadline of all time. Like, the league is going to be so different from what it was a week ago. You're just looking at the West, like, these teams look so different. The Lakers obviously look different. I like, Memphis should make a move. Like, I was watching the Grizzlies game. Was it last night? Sorry, my days are out of whack. Like, I feel like I've been sleeping half the day and then, like, trying to, like, stomach through videos. Was it this game? Yeah, against the Raptors. Where I'm just looking at their depth. They have so much depth in Memphis. They should try to consolidate this as well. I don't know if it's that Marcus Smart contract, who's been an abysmal shooter ever since he went to Memphis. I don't know. I think Memphis could make a trade. How can the Warriors afford Vooch? I think they could still get there. I mean, I could be wrong. I haven't, like, tried this, but if we did the Warriors and the Bulls, let's see. It's $20 million. It would be Gary Payton. It'd be Buddy. Oh, yeah, they can easily get there. I mean, it'd be something like this, and then you'd probably have to throw in another protected first-round pick. So, yeah. That's the way it would work out. How much can Memphis pay Santi Aldama? Santi, he's a free agent at the end of the year, right? So, I don't know what his rookie extension would look like. I forget he's a restricted free agent at the end of the year. I think he can get like what Trey Murphy got. I think realistically what he can get. I mean, you're probably not getting him for what like Jaden Hardy went for. It's probably a little bit more than that. But hey, like $12 million a year, $15 million a year, I would do that. It's just like that Desmond Bane contract gets really expensive, and they got a Jaren Jackson Jr. extension coming up in the offseason as well. Are the Raptors done with the deadline? I think so. I mean, they just got PJ Tucker. I don't know if they could reroute him. I mean, like, I like the idea of, like, I don't know why, but, like, do you guys know where the first-round pick they gave up for Brandon Ingram ended up being? Because it was 1 first-round pick, 1 second-rounder. Because, I don't know, like, giving up that, like, I don't know what the protection is on that. I don't know if it's out yet. I assume it is out yet. So, Raptors or Pelicans fans, you guys can let me know. But, yeah, I think the Raptors might be done. Because they got to really figure out, like, this core next year, how it could be. Boucher should get traded. I agree. Kind of wanted him on my Knicks. Oh, it's the Indiana 2026 pick. Thank you, guys. Thank you. See, this is like what happens when you're sleeping for these and you're not on Twitter. Thank you, thank you. I might ask you guys for a lot of pick stuff. This is like not like me, I guess I should say. Okay, 2026 Pacers pick. You'd assume that's probably going to be like late teens, early 20s next year. I guess we never know where they could be. Hungry Manning, thank you for the $2 donation. Any Knicks trades, or is this team set? I think it's set. I think they were going to make the Jericho Sims trade. I don't know. I think they're banking on Mitchell Robinson. Maybe something happens and they shock me, but I think they're banking on Mitchell Robinson being healthy for the rest of the year. I would have liked them to get a better wing defender. Like Devon Wright really doesn't move me that much for what we need, but I mean, they were able to get the rights to Hugo Besson, and Jericho Sims, I don't really think had a role on this team. Kevin Quinn, thank you for the $2 donation. What's your opinion on my Wizards moves? I mean, I don't mind the Kuzma, Chris Middleton trade, especially if you could flip Chris Middleton for anything in the offseason. I mean, trading Jonas makes sense. I mean, there was no point in really having him on the roster, and I'm hoping that just like this young group is excited to play with each other. I just hated watching Kuzma on the team. Middleton is so much more, I feel like, of a better leader and veteran to have in the locker room, and you're still like trying to go all in with the future of Sar, Bilal, Carrington, George, AJ Johnson, who I like you picked up in that deal, and your first round pick in this upcoming draft. Any Nuggets trades? I like the one I came up with in my video, one a trade idea for every team, that they go after Cody Martin, because they can get there with Zeke Naji. I mean, Caleb Martin would have been a great pickup, but he ended up going to Dallas. So Cody Martin, I think, is like a little bit worse version of Caleb, but I think could be exactly what Denver could use as a bench forward that they don't really have right now. Like, I think a little bit more size. I don't know, like, Cody Martin's only 6'5", but he plays up more than that. And he crashes the offensive class very well. How about Poole? I don't think Jordan Poole gets traded. I think if anything that happens in the offseason. Will PG be traded? I don't know. There's some speculation that could happen, but I don't think it ends up happening. It's just, I don't know who wants Paul George. Like, unless they're willing to give up an asset to get off Paul George, and they're not trading Jared McCain to get off Paul George. But I don't know. Like, I don't really want Paul George. I wouldn't give up assets for Paul. Unless you have an equally as, like, a bad contract as this, where he's making $56 million in 4 years from now. Shams? Okay, I'm glad you guys are in the chat about this. Shams nuke? What do we got? Oh my god. Oh my god, this deadline can't get any better. Patrick Baldwin Jr. and Cash of San Antonio. Why even report this? Patrick Baldwin Jr., man. He was supposed to be like a top prospect when he went to Milwaukee. I forget if he decommitted somewhere. And then he ends up being the 28th pick by Golden State. They take a chance on him, and he never really worked out. I mean, his numbers, I mean, he only played 4.6 minutes a night, but yeah, I kind of lost hope in him in his rookie year, where he couldn't buy a shot really to save his life. And he didn't really play a ton. No way, right? This is crazy. League changing. It's a nuke. What did he even average at Milwaukee? He averaged 12 points, 6 rebounds. Oh my god, yeah, he was terrible, and he still went in round 1 because of the high school potential. 34 from the field, 26 from 3, 74% from the free throw line. Oh my god. I don't think that's the backup center. I guess Milwaukee's just saving a little bit of money here. I mean, what is Baldwin making? He's making 2.4, so I guess this is helping Milwaukee save a little bit of money. As that Kuzma trade, I mean, I don't really love it for them, but I do like that it gets them under the second apron. Josh, thank you for the donation. Who the Raptors backup center now? Boucher's too small. I still think it is Boucher. I know, I don't know. If he ends up getting traded, though, it could end up being somebody else. I mean, Mogbo could play the backup 5, but he's a little bit small as well. So maybe they end up making another move. Thank you for the donation. Tag Live. Thank you for the donation. Yeah, man, maybe in the future for sure. Just fighting this flu right now. As Shams just said, Hawks would covet a Coro and any Hunter deal. Cavs have offered a first. Interesting. I mean, that doesn't hurt. I mean, DeAndre Hunter, I really like him in Cleveland. I mean, that would be a great pickup for them, the way that he's playing this year. and he's under contract for the next 3 years. It's a little expensive, but the way he's playing this year, it's kind of worth it. Okoro just fits that like swing defender like vibe that they're trying to bring in Atlanta. He's not been really a great offensive player in his career outside of like he'll hit a couple threes a night. Obviously stands in the corner, but hey, playing with Trae Young can help out a lot of people. But I don't know if it's gonna be that much different going from Garland to Young. Definitely an upgrade in a way, but I don't know if it's gonna change Okoro. If it's Okoro in a first for Hunter, I think they should do it. I just wanted to see Atlanta add Brandon Ingram because they may give San Antonio a good first rounder in this upcoming draft. I wonder, like, yeah, what's like the last big trade we'll see? Like, could Kobe White get moved? Cam Johnson, John Collins? Like, the Jazz gotta move one of these guys, right? Like, no way they have John Collins on their roster after the deadline, and he leaves for nothing. I mean, maybe he opts into that, and then he gets traded. Colin Sexton, like, could they still get a good offer for him? Jordan Clarkson, like Dennis Schroeder, he's gonna be the best buyout guy on the market, for sure. I think, yeah, like Portland. I mean, Portland's been playing well lately, but there's no need for Robert Williams on this team. I know they might not get what they want for him, but you want to give, like, I mean, Aiden's had some good games the last couple, in his last couple, but Klingon, man, he's got to get these minutes going forward. PG and McCain to Orlando for Franz. I'm sorry, man, but Orlando would never do that. We got to put down 2K for that one. Yeah, like, I think the Blazers, like, I think they should try to call up Orlando and get them Anthony Simons, who's a good shooter. He's making $25 million this year and $25 million next year, and we could finally see Sharp and Scoot in that backcourt. That's what I think they should do. I don't know if they will. J Money, thank you for the donation. No BI trade reaction. Why do you hate us, Matt? I was sleeping, man. I was sound asleep when that deal went down and the Mark Williams deal went down. Yeah. Sorry, man. I will definitely be doing, like, a Brandon Ingram Raptors rebuild, and I'm going to also, like, talk about it. I'm going to grade every major, or I'm going to grade every deal or grade every team's deadline after this stream. Hopefully should get that up today. Will the Suns make a trade? I think they got to. I think they will, because, like, no way they don't do anything, right? And I know they probably don't want to trade away future draft picks, but, yeah. I don't think they want to trade away future, like, I don't know, like, is it worth going from Nurkic and, like, the 30th pick in this draft or the 28th pick in this draft to Robert Williams? Is that worth it? Or would you rather just keep that pick? I don't know. I think they should trade KD, but only to the Houston Rockets right now, just so they can get their first-round picks back. But I don't know if they would want KD, and they'd rather just hold out for Booker, but you don't move Booker. Biscuit Buddy, thank you for the donation. Spurs just got Patrick Baldwin. Yeah, league-shattering move. Tulip, I don't watch the WNBA. I, like, kind of keep up with it, like, casually. It's just, like, between the NBA and college, at least, like, through the offseason, I don't keep up with the dubs, so sorry if there was any moves that happened. In the summer, like, I'll catch a game or two throughout it, but not as much now. Mackerel, yeah, I am still doing YouTube full-time. Not sure how much longer, but still doing it full-time. Did someone... I didn't want to miss anyone's donation. Booker will be on the Rockets in 2 years. Hey, I mean, dude, the Rockets have a ton of assets. Like, would you trade Amen Thompson for Devin Booker? Would you do that? See, like, it gets tough. Like, you're going to have to give up really big assets to get Devin Booker. Fresh, I assume, like, I think Shams is doing, like a live stream, or not like a live stream, like, they might be live on ESPN. It's probably where he said it. Hey, Zeals, I don't know, but Temple does not lose at home this year. I think they could make a run in the tournament. Like, shout out Jamal Mashburn Jr. Dude is a bucket. Yeah, no, yes. Hell no, 100% yes. That was my question, too. Would you trade Amen Thompson for Devin Booker? Which is crazy. I know Amen Thompson has a very high ceiling, but, like, it's funny because it was like, you'd think Stephon Castle is untouchable. Luka Doncic just got traded. It's like, sometimes, like, teams will value their own guys a little bit more than they should. But I think like it might cost them a decent amount. Now, it might not have to be Amen Thompson. It could be Şengün or Green. I'm sure they'd rather do Green. Somebody said Mark Stein. Yeah, okay. There's your DeAndre Hunter thing. The Cavs and Hawks remain engaged in trade talks on a DeAndre Hunter to Cleveland deal. That'd be a good pickup for Cleveland for sure. I had them getting Andrew Wiggins, so that's like a good alternative. Kind of similar in a way too. Stiford, no, they would need to win the American. Temple, which they've been kind of competitive in most of their games this year. Not saying it's impossible. I mean, Temple did go to the American Championship game last year, and they got better. Here you go. Thank you for the $5 donation. You're eating an orange, by the way. Can my Hawks do something, please? Hey, I feel you, man. They got to do something to be competitive. And trading away your what? Second best player currently? Third best player currently with Jalen Johnson hurt? When you need to win games to not give San Antonio a top 10 pick? I don't know if I agree with that. I really don't. I would say that's a little risky. Did this come out today? Yeah. Warriors, Bulls, continue to discuss Vucevic trade. I think so. Like, that was from Windy. Magic have shown interest in Kobe White. That was from Ian Bagley. Of SNY. Yeah, and then all this stuff kind of happened last night. Do I think Ben Simmons gets bought out? Probably. But teams that I believe are over the first apron cannot trade for him or cannot sign him because he's making over $13 million on his previous contract. I don't know. The buyout market's weird now with the new CBA. Does KD to the Mavs work? It does. We'd have to do Gafford, PJ, Clay. I don't think that works, right? Cut 6.5 from the Mavs, so you'd have to also include. Yeah. I mean, do you throw Najee in that trade? You probably don't want to do that. I mean, yeah, the good old 5 for 1. Yeah, that works, and then probably some draft capital. You know what's funny? I don't think the Suns get that much worse with this deal because you're getting. I mean, they get worse. You're trading Kevin Durant, but if you can get PJ Washington and Gafford around Beal and Booker. That's a good like complementary pieces. But I would ask for like the Lakers first round pick they got on the Luka trade. I would ask for their 2025 first. And I would ask for their 2031 first. I don't know. That's probably too much for KD at his age. But if you can say they got this package for KD, oh my God, I would do that if I were Phoenix in a heartbeat. But I think that's too much. I sound sick. Yeah. Fighting the 104 temperature right now. I'm not here to brag. No, I'm just kidding. I'm hoping I can finish this stream. What should the Orlando Magic do? Should do when suck. I think the Magic. I think they can go after Cam Johnson, Kobe White. I think they gotta add some shooting. Anthony Simons. I mean, like, hey, we could just look at the top 3-point shooters in the NBA this season. And I don't know, can they get Grayson Allen from Phoenix? I think he's been on the table before. Luke Kennard. Can we get Luke Kennard in Orlando? When is the deadline? It's at 3 o'clock Eastern time today, so in about 2.5 hours. Can they get... Let's see who's actually available here. Shout out to Rui shooting 42% from 3. Just kind of going through here. Eric Gordon. I mean, I don't know if that's who they should get. Shout out to Harrison Barnes shooting 41% from 3 this season. But yeah, Cam Johnson. Could they get Luke Kennard? Could they get Anthony Simons? Could they get Kobe White? That's who they should go after. One of those shooters. Should the Pistons trade Ivy? No. And they look too promising with Cade and Ivy before. Anthony's bad. I mean, don't tell Orlando that. I don't think Anthony's bad. I mean, his defense is not good. But he's a shooter at least. I mean, I think Portland should try to trade him. I said they should have traded him the last 2 years. So I've been on this before. Rack, thank you for the $2 donation. Micah Bilal triple-double last night. Trade Brogdon. I agree. They should trade Brogdon. And hey, like this is rock bottom for the Wizards. They are one of the worst teams of all time this year. I don't know if Chris Middleton's going to help them out too much. I don't think he's going to play that many games. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of rest nights. But yeah, Bilal triple-double. 11, 11, and 10. He had 6 turnovers, plus 22. Hey, they beat the Nets. I mean, the Nets need to lose some games. They probably didn't want to win that Houston game. I have D'Lo in fantasy. He got like a 1.5 last night. Thank you for the donation, Hayden. Are the Sixers done making trades? I don't know. They're a weird team right now, and I do think that they're going to get the last spot in the Eastern Conference playoffs. Like, they're going to get, I think they're going to pass Chicago. They may even pass Atlanta, so they're going to be probably the 9th seed. That's why I think Detroit should make a move. I think they're going to make at least a notable move. And it might be on like the level of Caleb Martin, Quentin Grimes, not like a Paul George trade. Alexander, thank you for the donation. Greetings from Switzerland. Hey, shout out to you, man, from Switzerland. What do you think the 3 big moves will be made until the deadline? I will say, I don't know where they could go to, but I still think Robert Williams gets traded. I think the Atlanta Hawks make a deal. Like, they acquire somebody to help them now. They kind of have to. And I think the Jazz sell off their veterans, too. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if Cam Johnson doesn't get traded. Taryn, sorry if I butchered your name, but thank you for the donation, man. Blazers fan, love the hot streak. Curious how they approach the deadline. Been watching your deadline streams for a few years now. Enjoy your content. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate that. Dude, shout out to the Blazers. And I've been a big critique, or I don't know, I've been skeptical, I should say, about Chauncey Billups. But the way that they've been playing this year, I even, like, noticed before this winning streak, you know what, like, they've been at least somewhat competitive for the most part. And I don't know, I think you still move Robert Williams. I think you still move Anthony Simons if there's a deal there. I wouldn't mind losing a couple more games. You add Cooper Flagg or Dylan Harper to this team, or VJ Edgecombe, we're really going in the right direction. Because the way Scoot has been playing over his last, like, couple weeks, maybe, like, we're kind of seeing Scoot break out in a mini way. Like, yeah, you look at Scoot's last 13 games, 17, 6 and 4, 50, 47, 81 splits. I mean, there are some stinkers in there where he's not playing a ton, or maybe he's playing banged up, or like kind of going back to some of these. I don't know, though. I would be excited about the Blazers right now from what we thought they could have been like in the beginning of the year. Are the Warriors washed? I don't want to say it. What is the latest bomb? Please, bro. I think it was Patrick Baldwin Jr. Coron, thank you for the donation. KD to the Rockets. I honestly feel either he could get a chip or at least waste, or at least make it to the finals with them. I agree. I mean, you had Kevin Durant to a team that could use that guy. That's why I always thought they were going to be a Jimmy Butler team. But you had Kevin Durant and you have a closing lineup. I don't know what it would cost to get KD. Like, you're not moving Amen Thompson. You can't, I mean, you can move Jalen Green, but it gets a little complicated with the poison pill restriction. But you have a closing lineup, say, of Amen Thompson, we'll say Jalen Green, Kevin Durant, Jabari Smith Jr., or Tari Eason and Şengün. That is something. I don't know if Eason would have to be in that deal at all. Thank you for the donation tag live. Per Shams, Cam Thomas trade is very real. Okay, did he say that on the live stream? That is interesting. I thought that they could look to move him because he's due for an extension at the end of the year, and it just never felt like Brooklyn wanted to pay him. I always thought Milwaukee should have gone after him because they could look to add another, like, score. I mean, Orlando could go after Cam Thomas. The only thing is, like, you got to pay him at the end of the year. I mean, you can easily do Marjon Beauchamp for Cam Thomas, I think, now that they're under a second apron. Just kidding, I lied. I lied to everybody right there. Like, let's say you do Pat Connaughton. I don't know where Cam Thomas's value is at. And a 2031 first, unprotected. That is so risky. But could it work? I don't know, man. I mean, Marjon Beauchamp, like, they kind of have to move. That's why I was hoping the Knicks were going to get him in that Jericho Sims trade, because he can at least provide some defense. I really wanted to get Andre Jackson, but they were never moving him for that. Cam Thomas to Orlando, that could make sense. CLT Parker, thank you for the $2 donation. What are the chances the Hornets trade for Zion? I don't know, man. But LaMelo and Zion in the same city, I don't know if I love that too much. I don't think they would. I don't. Also, yeah, like, I'm trying to think of, like, teams that would go after Cam Thomas. I mean, like, would Chicago? Probably not, right? This was like a 3-team deal. Detroit, I don't hate it, but I don't love it. Miami, not really. Atlanta, maybe, but Cam Thomas and Trae Young in the backcourt together defensively is not that good. Denver, I mean, that would be kind of nice for Denver. Like, who knows how Cam Thomas could be around Jokic, but you'd get expensive when you re-sign him. But hey, if you throw in that 2031 first, like, we could get it done. Could Golden State go after Cam Thomas? You know what? I actually don't hate that. I don't even, like, would you, all right, would we think the Warriors would do this trade? Pods for Cam Thomas. Like theoretically, who gets the better end of this deal? Because Pods is still under that team control for the next 3 years. Elias, thank you for the $5 donation. Thoughts on Mark Williams to the Lakers? I like it a ton, man. If he can stay healthy, that is a home run pickup for them. And I'm not worried about that 2031 first now because Luke is on your team. So you're probably going to be really good in 2031. Hey, Pookie. Thanks, Richard, for the donation. Like, I don't know. Like, the Wolves, people were saying in the chat, but the Wolves got to make some corresponding moves because they're a second apron team right now. A couple people in the chat are saying Vooch. I mean, then the Warriors are really going all in. Shit, nah. R-Dobbs, thank you for the donation. But OKC trade for Cam Johnson. I think they should, man. I was saying all year long that they should go after Cam Johnson, but it seems like they don't want to trade these guys. Like, I would move Isaiah Joe. I would move, I mean, could you do, people are saying it in the chat. I don't know. I'm gonna be pissed. No, everyone's lying. This happens every year. But Cam Johnson, Isaiah Joe, I mean, I would trade Ousmane Dieng in this deal. What is Dieng making? Dieng's making $5 million. Can OKC do this? Because they're still under. Wow, they can. And then you obviously can move draft capital. You can move draft capital. I think they should, man. He's such an upgrade, and he's under contract for the next 3 years. Chad is definitely trolling. Any move for the Nuggets? I talked about Cody Martin before. I think it's like a player of that caliber. Koran, thank you for the donation, man. Trade Dylan Brooks, Jabari Smith, Tari Eason, and Cam Whitmore, and some draft picks, and boom, you got KD. Yeah, easier said than done. I don't know, and all that came out yesterday, how he didn't want to go to Golden State. He wouldn't mind going to Miami. It felt like he didn't want to go to Houston, but KD doesn't have a no-trade clause, so can't really say all that. Yeah, I think there's still a world where Vooch gets traded. David, thank you for the donation. With Celtics opening a roster spot after trading Jaden Springer, what are the chances, and what do you think it would take for them to land Kessler? It'd be tough, man. I don't think Utah is in any position to trade Walker Kessler, and Boston would have to give up. I don't even know if they would want Baylor Shireman because he's like 30 years old. It would probably cost, jeez, man, because Sam Hauser's extension kicks in. I don't even know if they'd want Sam Hauser. Like, what is Kessler making? He's only making $2.9 million. Like, say you did, can we even do Shireman? Like, would that even work financially? No. Say you did, I don't know, Xavier Tillman, and, I didn't mean to reset that. Say you did this. Like, would you trade, no, Al Horford wouldn't make sense. Like, say you do Nemesis Keita, and say you did, I don't know, Jordan Walsh. That works. No, it doesn't work, because the Celtics are a second apron team, so they can't aggregate money. It's tough, man. Like, you'd probably have to do, who's the one guy that would make this work? I don't know, Al Horford. Like, would you do that? Like, you might have to move Al Horford and 2 future first-round picks, but I don't even know if Utah would want to do that. Yeah, I don't think so. Rack, thank you for the $2 donation. Obi Toppin, plus a pick for Cam Johnson and Sharp. I don't hate them getting Sharp. I like that, but I wonder if they're looking to add some more defense, because they got some shooters on their team, right? But, I mean, that works financially. What did you say? You said Obi Toppin plus a pick. Say they're 2020. Well, they can't trade their 2025 first. Like, say I don't know, man, 2029 first for Sharp, Cam Johnson. And then, does that work financially? It does not. We probably have to throw in, like, Isaiah Jackson. Maybe. Does that work? Who's a restricted free agent at the end of the year? That doesn't even work. So that's tough to pull off, man. Let me see. I just want to make sure I didn't miss any donations. Okay. Did not. KD to Dallas. And we talked about it before. It would be really cool. It would just make the 2025 deadline the most insane sporting event, I think, ever. But I don't think it's happening. Like, the fact that we got Jimmy and Ingram on top of the Luka Fox deals, wild stuff. Wild stuff. That is such a lateral trade. Yeah, I don't even know if it would make them that much better. 3,500 people in here. Thank you guys all for coming out. I really appreciate it. Do I think LaMelo gets traded? I do not. But this new regime, I don't think cares about the old regime's drafted players. So who knows? Maybe a LaMelo Ball trade happens in the offseason. Because, like, the GM's Jeff Peterson? Jeff Jeff Peterson. I forget his name. But he seems like he doesn't like Mark Williams, drafted by the old regime. Good pick by them, and he goes, nope. We're gonna get some draft capital down the line. I like what the new regime has done so far, outside of the T. Salon pick. I'm excited to watch Connect there because they do need some shooters. But Connect is kind of old. Is Connect gonna be on the Lakers here, or is it no? Mark Williams is. So if I go to the Hornets, Connect is, or I could just do this actually. Dalton Connect is 20. He's gonna be 24 at like the end of the year. So I don't know. 24 at the start of next year's season. What is he gonna be like for this team? If his numbers don't really go up next year, I don't know if we're gonna see a better ceiling than this. Um, Cam Johnson to the Grizzlies, like that's another team that I think makes a lot of sense because they have all this talent. Like they have 10 guys, 12 guys deep that they could look to trade. And they could easily get there financially with Marcus Smart or Brandon Clark and Luke Kennard, and you can get a third team involved in John Conchar. Like they have perfect tradable contracts. Memphis should make a move. But I know Zach Cleveland, like they've been kind of conservative there. Did somebody say the GM of the Hornets in the chat before I have to embarrass myself and look it up? No, nobody did. All right, if I did Hornets, I think it's Jeff Peter. It is Jeff Peterson. Okay, so I was right there. Cam Johnson to the Spurs. I think they should move Cam Johnson, but we'll see. Maybe he ends up getting moved in the offseason. Like this is someone that is having the best year of his career at the perfect time for Brooklyn in their rebuild, where they could trade him. They can get some nice assets in return. Hunter to the Cavs. That seems like that's got the most steam right now. Or the most like hype to it is DeAndre Hunter going to Cleveland. I mean, if we played that out, the Cavs, I mean, that is a big ad for them. I think the Cavs should add because I'm not totally confident the Cavs will beat Boston in the Eastern Conference Finals if they met. And who knows, maybe New York could beat them as well. So I think they should look to add. I don't want them to be complacent. I mean, their core is not going anywhere. So if you did, I don't know who it would cost. I don't want them to ruin their vibes. Say you did, I would probably do LeVert because you keep that Strus contract. Like say you did LeVert and Okoro for Hunter. Like that's not the worst idea. It would be hard cap though. Yeah, so it's, I don't know. It'd be interesting for them to pull this off. Or say we did also George Niang, so it's a 3-for-1. That doesn't even work. I'd have to remove $8.5 million. Jeez. So yeah, you would have to, maybe you would have to throw in Strus. I'm not doing this 4-for-1. I just wanted to see. Okay, no, I'm misreading that. Thank you for the donation, Raise a Jolly Roger. Do you think the Celtics could make a move at the deadline? I don't think so. I think Jaden Springer might be their only move. They know their core, and if they're healthy, they should be the favorites again to come out of the Eastern Conference. Jesse, thank you for the donation, the $5 donation. Does OKC need to make a trade to make it to the finals? And if so, I personally really want Cam Johnson for Brooklyn. I agree, man. I think Cam Johnson can really put them not over the top because I still think they are the favorites to come out of the West, and that's not a hot take. They are the 1 seed, and they do have the best record in the NBA. But I would like to see them add a guy. And it's not like Cam Johnson's a rental. It's not like you're going to lose him for nothing in free agency. He's under contract for the next 2 years. But yeah, Raise a Jolly Roger and Jesse, thank you so much for the donations. Thank you to everybody that's like donated. You guys don't have to do that, and I really appreciate it. CLT Parker, thank you for the $2 donation. Bridges and Vasa Misic for Pritchard and a first. That wouldn't work out financially. And yeah, I don't, yeah, that wouldn't work out. I don't even think Boston would want Bridges. But I'm sure everybody would want Peyton Pritchard. People are saying check Shams. Let's see. You guys lie to me? You guys are lying to me. You guys are lying to me. It's messed up. Let's say NBA Central, like kind of the worst time of the year to follow this account. Like they post some nice stuff, but it's also some like annoying stuff. It's like from a random 3rd-tier reporter. Oh, this team is looking to add Kevin Durant. It's just like, all right, that's clearly engagement farming. I just want to see if they posted anything. Yeah, because they just take stuff from other accounts. All right. Yeah, I was curious. We got 3,700 people in here. Check Woj. Yeah, like, do you think Woj? It's funny, like the first deadline that Woj retired, I still follow Woj. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people still do. But the first deadline without Woj, he he might get some FOMO from this one. Like, his Twitter checks would go crazy. Like, I always wonder what, like, Shams or, like, Adam Schefter's or Jeff Passon's or Woj's, like, Twitter accounts would be like, or their money, like, aspect from, like, Twitter Blue, just because they get so much traction. Like, I think the Luka tweet, it's probably at, like, over 100,000 likes, right? Or, no, it might be, let's see, 294,000. That is insane. You feel like Desmond Bane gets moved? I don't think so. Desmond Bane, like, I kind of like him as a playmaker. I don't know if he's going to reach his fullest potential playing with John Morant. Like, I want a question for maybe non-Grizzlies fans, but also Grizzlies fans in the chat if there are any out there. Who do you think makes it longer in Memphis? Jaren Jackson Jr. or John Morant? Do we think there's ever a scenario where Ja gets traded from Memphis? I'm just saying. Or maybe do we think they both retire there together? Because... what? Jaren Jackson Jr. is 25. Ja is also 25 because Triple J was like the youngest guy in that 2018 draft class, which is just absolutely loaded. Literally might go down as like the best draft class of all time. With Luka and Shea in it, like we're going to look back on that and it's going to be crazy. Trae Young, Jalen Brunson, Mikal, Jaren Jackson Jr., and like so many good role players after that. You guys think Triple J makes it longer? Elias, thank you for the $2 donation. Do the Lakers need to make any other moves? I don't think so, now that they got their center. I think they don't need to do anything crazy, unless it's like a really cheap get. Like it costs them like matching salary in a second. Yeah, it seems like people in the chat are like split 50-50 on John Triple J. Neil, thank you for the donation. Do you think the reason why the deadline is so crazy this year is because of the new apron rules? I don't know. I don't know if it was going to be this crazy without... I mean, like, I guess De'Aaron Fox, like, was going to get traded without the apron rules or not. Same with Jimmy, because we all knew that trade was coming. Ingram, like, we kind of expected that to come as well. So I guess really the only shocker, I guess Mark Williams, but that doesn't happen unless the Lakers trade for Luka Doncic. And I think that was really the big domino that came out of nowhere and really sparked a very active deadline. Rock, thank you for the donation. What if Triple J eventually replaces AD in Dallas? I don't know how that's happening because, well, I mean, it could 100%. Where's he? He's from Michigan. He's from Indiana. Or he's from New Jersey, actually. But he is going to get a nice extension in the offseason. It's going to be a lot of money. Like, this was the best contract in the NBA, or it was up there. Now he's going to be making like $50 million a year. So we always look at players a little bit differently when they get that max deal, and are they worth it? Like, Brandon Ingram got extended from the Pelicans after the AD trade. But he is going to be making a lot of money. Like, he could make $45-50 million. He could probably make like $60 million. Maybe not that much because he doesn't have like time in Toronto. But we're going to look at Brandon Ingram a different way when he gets like $55 million a year. Is that actually Triple J's nickname, Block Panther? Oh my God, that's great. That is great. I feel like Basketball Reference like kills it with these nicknames. Does Ingram have any? Tiny Dog. Humble Beast, Kingram, Slenderman. The only one I get is Slenderman or Kingram. These are crazy. I feel like I just sit here going through all these nicknames. What is Zion's? Does Zion have any funny ones? Xanos. That's it. How is Mark Williams? Can you give us an idea how he is? I mean, Mark Williams is what? 23 years old. And he is going to be a great lob threat with Luka. He's already that with LaMelo, and he spent some decent amount of time without LaMelo and is still able to get his shots up inside. He can be very physical offensively. I think the defense can come and go. There are some lapses. Could he get a little bit lackadaisical on the closeouts? 100%. So I think, like cons, there could be some defensive lapses. There could be some injury concerns because he's been injured every single year of his career, but he's still just 23. The pros, though, you're getting an insane athlete, somebody that could finish inside, set great screens with Luka, and his development with Luka, and even a half a season or a year and a half with LeBron and with Reeves is going to be great. Air Gumbo? Where did you see that one? Big Beef. Zion should be Big Gumbo. All right, let's not be mean here. Check Mark Stein. Let's see this. Mark Stein. The Sixers are now sending an additional 20-30 seconds. You're like, whoa. Oh, okay. That's just like from the Grimes trade. But the Sixers have been weird lately. Yeah, like, what are the Pistons doing? They got cap space. Yeah, like, could they get involved in, like, a 3-team trade here? and take on somebody better than like KJ Martin or the other guys they've gone. Thank you for the $5 donation, Marcus. What trade can push the Clippers into title territory? I think they need to add some offense. I came up with the Kobe White trade for them, but it might be a little bit risky to trade like your 2031 first. I mean, I think this first would have some value, the 2031 first, and that is scary to trade. But you do Kobe White, and you get off of the Terrence Mann money. Like, that works. I just don't know how much value that would have. And I think adding a score and a shot creator like Kobe White, and you have Harden, White, Kawhi, Derrick Jones Jr., Zubats, like that's a good balance and a good mix of offense and defense. Maybe you'd like for somebody a little bit better defensively, but I just don't know who you're like. But now you need to really add some offense. So I'm not sure. Like, outside of that, could they? I don't know if Memphis would want to trade them anybody just because they're in the same conference. I feel like that's something Memphis would do going forward. Yeah, Brusello to the Spurs. Yeah, but now I think that the Sixers are not a taxpayer team, that they can now give Yabusele the non-taxpayer mid-level around like $15 million a year, which is good for them because I think they should bring back Gershon. It was a really nice pickup. And hey, the Knicks, like, I wish the Knicks signed him for the minimum. Like, why not? Why not? Do you think the Lakers will make another trade? I don't think so. I mean, maybe they make, like I said, I think it's like a minor move, or if it's like something that's like Gabe Vincent in seconds, matching salary, maybe. But, man, I'm really excited to watch LeBron, Luka, and Reeves. That's going to be so much fun, the basketball IQ between those three. Neil, thank you for the donation. I could see Kobe to the Magic. Yeah, 100%. And they have the assets that they can outbid the Clippers for sure. I mean, could the Clippers... I mean, they could probably get Cam Thomas. They could definitely get Cam Thomas. If we did... Let's see here. If we did... I mean, you get to keep the Terrence Mann contract, and you did Bones Highland. I'm pretty sure Sean Marks, who loves his draft picks right now, would do this. Is that worth it? Is that worth it? I don't know, though. Is Cam Thomas even, like, he's only played 19 games this year. When was the last time he's played, right? He hasn't played since January 2nd with the hamstring. So, I don't know if that would decrease his value on the market, and that might, like, steer away teams that are going to give up a valuable asset for him. Got 3,700 people in here. Thank you guys for coming out. I really appreciate it. Which West team not making the play-in? If I had to guess, so, oh god, dude, it's tough. I low-key think it's the Suns or one of them, and I'm gonna say the Spurs. But who knows? Like, this team was already competitive enough, and they had a De'Aaron Fox for basically like role players, and they may add like another backup big, or if they had Cam Johnson, I would change my mind. Right now, though, I will say the Suns and the Spurs. I think the Suns is just lack of talent, overall talent, compared to the rest of the teams. I wouldn't be surprised if it was the Kings, though. And the Spurs, I think it's just like, not lack of urgency, but it's just like, say there is a Wemby injury, say there is a Fox injury, like, I think they might be like, all right, let's get a good draft pick here, and we're really going to be a projected top 4 seed in the West next year. It's crazy. Like, the Spurs, I think over-under this year was like 35.5 wins. It's going to be like 48 next year. It's going to be good. Armin, thank you for the donation. What else should the Lakers do? I mean, I'm trying to think of, like Gabe Vincent matching money that they should do. I don't know if I would move Rui. I think I would hold on to Rui. Like, at $11 million, I'm trying to think. Like, I mean, they can't get John Collins. Colin Sexton would still be nice for this team, but I don't think you should try to trade any future first. And you traded the Dalton Connect asset. So I don't really think there is a move to be made. Unless you can get Chris Boucher. Like, I don't know if the Raptors would do this, just because if they were never going to sign Boucher, they get Gabe Vincent, a solid defender, but they have Jamal Shed. I don't think they would do that anyway. So, I don't know. I don't really think there is a notable move for the Lakers to make, unless it's like Vincent from Fontecchio or something like that, if they wanted to add a little bit of offense. Move Gabe, yeah, that seems like probably the most likely thing that could happen. So we are now 2 hours away from the trade deadline, the most historic one ever, being over. Do you think Sabonis to the Celtics is real? What? What? For who? Jaylen Brown? No, I don't think that's real. That sounds like a 2K trade. Did they post anything here? Nah. Anything from Shams? Nah, nothing from Shams right now. Maxi Kleba in a second for Josh Richardson or Day'Ron Sharpe. That's the move for LA. I mean, that's not a bad deal either. I forget, like, can they move Maxi Kleber this quickly? I'm not sure. Like, say we did Maxi Kleber to Brooklyn for Davon Sharp, just to see if this works. In Fanspo. Like, does this work? He was just recently traded. I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't think he can get traded till April 2nd, so. They would have needed to work this into a 3-team trade, but I don't think they were patient enough. They were like, we need to get this official. We're going to have Luka Doncic on the team. Jared Sum, thank you for the $2 donation. Haven't really talked about Miami in this stream so far. I like the return for Jimmy. Because Miami, I mean, Wiggins is not a bad contract by any means. It is a little bit more money than I think they wanted to have on their books. $28 million next year, $30 million in 27. But, like, after the 26th season, they're not going to have many guys under or on the books. Hero will get an extension for the 28 season, but Wiggins, player option, who knows if he even declines that then. Anderson's going to be off the books. They're going to have, Rozier off the books in 2026. They're going to have Duncan Robinson off the books. They could end up having a little bit of cap space to go out and get a big name, because I think with Hero making 33, and if Wiggins is not on this team, and Hawkins is making 5.5, I guess you would need to re-sign Jovic. They could be a big free agent team, and they might not get their first round pick this year because it's lottery protected, so it's going to go to OKC. But hey, they may end up getting the 14th overall pick from Golden State, and they can add a good talent in this draft. So I like the deal that Miami made. Bubba, thank you for the donation. Kleba can't be aggregated. Oh, he can be moved alone? Gotcha. Thank you. Bealistic, thank you for the $2 donation. Can the Cavs get Ben Simmons if he gets bought out? I believe so. I believe the Cavs are eligible to get him. Jacob Props, thank you for the $5 donation, man. I really appreciate it. Lorenzo, who do you think the Cavs will trade for Hunter? It's probably going to be like a mixture. I would assume they'd want to hold on to Strus. So it's going to be some type of like LeVert, Okoro, Niang, or Dean Wade. Like some type of group there. I'm scared. Who said this? Naga Boy, thoughts on the Butler trade and how he gels with the Warriors? I'm just a little nervous about that. Like, what is going to be the closing five, right? Is it going to be Steph? Is it going to be... I don't even know, man. Like, I don't even know. It's going to be like Steph, obviously Draymond, maybe Trace Jackson Davis, unless they go small ball. I can't believe they lost to the Jazz. And then you have Jimmy out there. Like, Buddy Hield going to play 30 minutes for you still? Maybe. Obviously helps you out floor spacing wise. I mean, they've just had their, like, I guess last night against the Jazz, like, they didn't have Anderson, Wiggins, or Schroeder. I'm surprised Miami didn't want Schroeder, because he wasn't on the books for next year, and he could help them this year. And I think they need, like, a true point guard, because Terry Rozier has been a disaster for that team. Schroeder buyout from the Jazz, yeah. I think the Jazz should try to flip him. Maybe that's the Lakers. No, the Lakers don't need another point guard. Laser, Dre, and Jimmy gonna rip each other's heads off. I'm excited for that. It might be drama. I don't know if I would have done that deal, but I don't know. I don't really know if Jimmy put you over the hump this year. Next year, if you can really have a full offseason to make moves, maybe something can happen there. Lakers play the Warriors tonight. That's going to be a fun game. Well, I assume Jimmy's not playing in this game. Yeah, 10 o'clock TNT game. And the Warriors are probably going to be under 500. I mean, Luka's not playing this game, right? His first game is Saturday. Any news on Lakers moves? I don't think they're going to make another notable move. I could be wrong. What do you think about the Ingram trade? I like low-key don't like it for both teams. I would have much rather have seen Brandon Ingram in Atlanta. But the Pelicans traded Ingram way too late. They could have got, I think, a lot more for him in the offseason, last offseason. And you get the Pacers first rounder next year. You get Kelly Olynyk, who is a fine big man depth for you. And I assume they'd want to get an extension done with Bruce Brown, which, it's another wing for them. It can't hurt. But just the value for what Ingram is as a player, they just didn't get enough back. And that's their fault, too, because they traded him so late. And him getting hurt definitely, I think, hurt his value a little bit. Toronto, I like it, I guess, technically a little bit more for them. But the thing is, when they give him that extension, this is going to look a little gross, where it's like Ingram's making 45 plus, Quickly's making 32, Barrett's making 27, Pirtle's making 20, Scotty's going to be making 38. It's just a lot of money for a team that, might peak next year as a 6 seed in the East, a 5 seed. I mean, that's a little, early to say, where teams are going to finish next year. But, I'm taking Cleveland over them next year, taking Boston, taking New York, taking a healthy Orlando. I think I'll take a healthy Philly. Milwaukee, if Giannis is still there. Miami, probably. Detroit, like they're in that tier. Detroit, Atlanta. I don't know if Charlotte, Brooklyn, or Washington will be any better, but I just don't know like where that puts Toronto. But hey, Ingram is still young. What is Ingram? 28? Ingram is 27. Like he's gonna be 27 still, or around 28 to start off next year's season. So at least like their core is still all like under 30, outside of maybe Jakob next year. Thank you for the $2 donation, Rec. Bucks really only need to trade Kuz for Matt. Yeah, I think they could still make another move. I mean, now they're under their second apron, which is huge for them, flexibility wise. So we'll see if they look to make another move in the next hour and 55 minutes. Can we trade Kawhi and Harden? I don't know, man. I like the Clippers. I mean, I'm glad that they're at least competitive this year, because when Kawhi was out to start off the year, I was like, oh my God, they're going to lose out on a top 12 pick. I mean, who knows? Like maybe they still fall in the second half, but this season has gone very well for the Clippers, especially because of their defense. The East is so mad. It really is. Like we got Jimmy Butler going to the West. Fox stays in the West. Lucas stays in the West. AD stays in the West. At least Brandon Ingram goes to the East, right? Like the Zach LaVine goes to the West. And then the West is so much better than the Eastern Conference. Like the Kings could be a 4 seed or a 3 seed in the East. Same with Dallas, same with Phoenix, same with Minnesota, same with Golden State, and same with maybe even San Antonio. Why are there no moves? I expect moves to probably happen in the final hour, but we also got a lot of moves that happened already. He's still better than Kuz. Who are we talking about? Ingram? Like, I don't know. I mean, the Bucks really couldn't have matched that offer for. I wanted to see Brandon Ingram in Milwaukee, but I think Middleton really hurt his value throughout the year, and I don't think they could have matched that Raptors offer. Look at NBA Central. I mean, we got to take that with a grain of salt. Like, they're not really the most reliable. But okay, if they're posting a Shams thing, it is. Teams are still making aggressive calls for Kevin Durant. Can I hear this?
He had made it clear that he did not want a reunion with the Warriors. The Warriors made a very strong pursuit of him over the last week, and several calls are continuing to pour in. One thing I do want to clarify, Kevin Durant has not requested a trade, and it's my understanding most of all these conversations this week it was somewhat blindsiding, because going into this week.
Dude, shout out to Shams. Like, now that like he's like the main guy doing this, like there's a little bit of Chris Haynes, a little bit of Mark Stein. Like no Woj, he's like breaking most of this big stuff. I wonder what his sleep is every night, and he's probably waking up like every hour throughout the night. He's got to be taking so many vitamins, drinking so many fluids, like staying not getting sick this week. Like I literally got sick from staying up all night after the Luka Doncic trade. I can't imagine what he's doing. That's old. Check Mark Stein. Yeah. Hey, thank you, Cuddy. I appreciate you coming out, man. Yeah, no, thank you guys that are all spending time here. We're talking deadline here. Hopefully we get some more moves that can happen. A specific timetable for Caleb Martin's Mavericks debut has not been established. Huh. Could this be... That would be a little awkward for Quentin Grimes there, but could he not pass a physical? All right, Dallas does not have any long-term concern about the right hip. Huh. So it looks like they had to throw in another second Philly because of the hip injury. Maybe? I don't know. That's interesting. But I like Caleb Martin on... I do like him on the Dallas Mavericks. His doctor's freaking out for sure. Yeah. I want the NBA to update this trade tracker a little bit better. Let's see. Unless there's... I think CBS Sports has a good trade tracker. If I do this, yeah, because I could throw this up here. There we go. Because this has everything that pretty much went down, it looks like. Like Mark Williams, and it's got the Brandon Ingram trade. Okay, there we go. And it's got the picks, thankfully. Or at least some of them. Yeah, this trade deadline has been unreal. Unreal, basically. Bullish trade ideas. I think they should trade Vucevic to the Warriors if they can get any type of asset, even if it's like a heavily protected first-round pick. I want Vucevic off this team. I want this team to end up in the Cooper Flag sweepstakes. They got a lot of ground to make up on, but if they can drop below Philly, if they could flirt with Brooklyn, And if they can get below Portland and San Antonio, which I don't think they'll have an issue for, it's crazy. They have the same, well, they don't have the same record, but same amount of wins as San Antonio. They can, I want them to end up with a bottom 10 record and then at least increase their chances at getting Cooper Flag. Cooper Flag in Chicago would be sick. They got Caleb Williams. They got Connor Bernard, and they can get Cooper Flag. JOHAYO, thank you for the donation. The Magic don't trade Simons or White. Trade for Simons or White, I'm a cry. Yeah, the Magic need some shooting. This is one of the worst shooting teams we have seen in a while. I think they have the lowest 3-point percentage this year, right? Field goal percentage by distance. Yeah, they're shooting 30% from 3. 3 percentage points lower than the Washington Wizards. Like, the Rockets being that bit low is crazy that they don't want to add a Cam Johnson at the deadline. Or a Grayson Allen. I don't get it. Like, I think Orlando could probably offer something nice for Grayson Allen. And I know that kind of hurts the Suns' chances this year. But let's say, I haven't really thought about the Suns trading. Like, I think Grayson Allen could net them something. Like, Grayson Allen, not a good defender, but he's a good shooter. Like, let's say we do Grayson Allen for, I don't know, you could probably get back Chad Howard. I mean, that doesn't really help you. You could probably, I don't know if you can get back Goga Badatse and Gary Harris. But, like, hey, you might be able to get a first-round pick this year from the Magic. I don't know. I don't know if they would do that trade. And I don't even know if the Suns would do that because that doesn't really make them better right now. 30 is insane. Yeah, no, 30% from 30 is crazy. The Magic definitely need to add some shooting. What's their offensive rating? I mean, they're the second worst offensive team in terms of offensive rating. And we all thought, I mean, the Magic have been decimated by injuries this year. Decimated. But we thought after the start Paolo had, what Franz was pulling off, we thought they were the third. Well, I didn't think. I always thought the Knicks were still better, maybe the Bucks. But people thought that they were the third best team in the Eastern Conference. So maybe not as much anymore. So maybe they're going to be like, this is not a wash year, but injuries really derailed our season. Jim Jansen, thank you for the $2 donation. Thoughts on Philly giving up a first for Jared Butler? Yeah, that was a weird trade. They got 4 seconds in that deal. So I don't really know what they're going to, like, what's their bigger picture in all of this, right? Men said all D, no 3. Basically, that's what the 2025 Orlando Magic are. People are like, check shams. Do you get enjoyment out of that? You get enjoyment out of that? Brady, thank you for the $2 donation. Who do you think the Suns should trade for? I don't know. I don't think they should trade any of their first-round picks. If we can get, like, a 3-team trade, like, say, I don't know, it's something like this, right? And then say it's, I don't know, can we also get Robert Williams? No. I don't know if Gary Harris really makes them that much better, but say it's, like, something like this. Say they get Robert Williams and Gary Harris. Grayson Allen goes to the Suns. And then say we have, like, I don't even know, Jet maybe goes to the, where's Jet Howard? Jet goes to the Blazers. Like, something like this, maybe. They don't have to give up a first-round pick. Now, this doesn't work. I have to cut $4 million from the Suns. All right, so that's pretty tough with Gary Harris. I don't know. Like, would you trade Grayson Allen for Williams? You get out of that long-term money. Orlando had some shooting. What's the problem here? Cut 4.8 from the Magic. I don't even know. Like, they're not moving to Silva, so we just send, I don't know, Caleb Houston to Phoenix. Corey Joseph to Phoenix as well. This wouldn't work out. Or no, this works out. I don't know. It's really tough, man. They're one of the worst, like, have one of the worst positions in the league. And I don't think they should be trading any of their draft capital. Maybe the first this year from Minnesota or Cleveland, because it's going to be, like, pick 30. But still, man, they're in a bad spot. Rack, thank you for the donation. Magic should have gone after Connect and sent a center. Yeah. I don't know if they could have done Goga for Connect. Could have been an interesting deal. It's just the problem is Mo's out for the year. Wendell Carter Jr. has been underperforming. And maybe the Magic are fine, like, not competing for a playoff spot this year. Not like a playoff spot. Like, I still think they're going to make... I still think they're going to make the playoffs, even with Paolo being a little frustrating since he's come back. But I think you're okay, like, being a round one exit. Your team is still so young, and this year you've been decimated by injuries. Nico, thank you for the donation. Any idea for a Memphis trade? I think they could go after Cam Johnson. I don't know. The Grizzlies are one of the teams that I think are, what are they, top 7 in both offensive rating and defensive rating? Yeah, they're 4th in net rating. They're great defensively. They're great offensively. I think you're just trying to consolidate here. Like, do you look to add 3-point? I don't know. They're ranked 7th in 3-point percentage. They're ranked 6th an opponent 3-point percentage. So, like, you don't really need to add another shooter out there. Yeah, people saying Woj. Yeah, Woj is definitely tweeting some stuff out. I don't know where you add. Maybe you add another big, but you have like Triple J, you have Clark, you have Edie, you have Jay Huff. I don't know what Memphis should do. I mean, Grizzlies fans in the chat, you guys can kind of give out some suggestions, but not really sure what they should do. Should the Heat trade Terry Rozier, Triple J, Slow-Mo, and a first for Colin Sexton and whatever else to make the money work? Thank you for the donation, Braden. I don't think so. I don't think it's worth trading Jaime Jaquez right now under that money for Colin Sexton, who's owed an extension in 2 years. Nighthawk, thank you for the $5 donation. Could you see the Lakers getting off of the Kleber deal to get under the second apron and build up their bench a little bit more in the buyout market? Schroeder. I don't know if Schroeder, I could see that for sure, your first part of that. I don't know if they really need a Dennis Schroeder right now. Just because you have Reeves handling the ball, you have LeBron, you have Luka. There's really no need for Schroeder on this team. I think you could look to try to add a little bit of defense. I don't know who's going to be there in the buyout market. If they could somehow get Ben Simmons, hey, the clutch client, that could happen. But Ben Simmons, like, not the greatest defender in the world. PJ Tucker won't be much. Kyle Anderson ain't getting bought out. He's got too much money left on the deal. So I would like to see the Lakers add maybe a defender in the buyout market, if there is going to be a good one out there. Nico, thank you for the donation. Who does Portland move? Aiden, Klingon, or Rob Will? Rob Will. I'm sure they would like to move Aiden, but nobody wants that massive contract. And Klingon's the franchise there at the center spot. Like, next year, I want to see... I'm excited about Portland next year because I could see Scoot at the 1, hopefully Sharp at the 2. Maybe you figure out the 3. Maybe it's Cooper Flagg. Maybe it's VJ Edgecombe or somebody like that. And then Denny Avdia at the 4 and Klingon at the 5 is what I want to see. I'm surprised, like, the Kings were kind of done as well. I would have liked to see them add another defender. It's just their problem with their contracts right now. And I like them having, like, Valanciunas. Sorry, where they can trade a $10 million salary in the offseason. They just didn't really have any of those, like, mid-salaries. Now they could attach, like, Wiles and Valanciunas in the offseason. It's just, like, DeRozan's 35. I thought, like, they could have been an interesting Ingram team. It would have been kind of tough to pull off. Like, say we did... I mean, it's tough now. But, like, DeRozan's 35. What is the ceiling of this team? I'm excited to watch, like, Malik Monk be a full-time point guard there. But what is the ceiling of this team? I mean, Devin Carter's been kind of rough a little bit with his shot as of late. Obviously, Keon Ellis is under a great contract. Like, what are they, a first-round exit at best? Michael Lee, thank you for the donation. Any idea for Wolves trades moves? The problem with them is the Wolves are a second apron team. And they would have to make one corresponding move already. I thought a deal that would make sense for them would be sending Julius Randle to Detroit. Like, honestly, does Randle for Harris make a little bit of sense? They could pull that off financially. You get a $25 million trade asset in the offseason, or just money to match other salary. Detroit could add Randle, but Randle's going to miss some time to try to, like, give Cade some help. And then now you can make a corresponding move, which I would like to see them add, like, a true point guard. I think if you can get under I think it's the second apron, like, Dennis Schroeder would be a great buyout guy, like an upgrade over Mike Conley, who has shown notable regression this year. Because, yeah, if we go to Bobby Marks, he's really good with posting the apron stuff. Sorry, this has been zoomed in a little bit. But if we go to, let's see, this is the luxury tax as of February 5th. Oh, my God. The Suns are $164 million over the luxury tax, and they are the 10th seed in the Western Conference. I mean, I guess Minnesota isn't much better. Jeez, man, that is insane. That really is. Does he... I thought he posted the apron stuff. Okay, here. Rules of the apron. First apron. So, yeah, if you're even, like, in the first apron, you can't get somebody on the buyout market that was making $12.8 million plus. So, none of the... this may have changed, but that means you can't get, I believe, a Dennis Schroeder if he's bought out. You can't get a Ben Simmons if he's bought out. There's Minnesota and Phoenix there behind me. But... yeah, the second apron. I mean, Milwaukee's not in the second apron anymore. It's just Minnesota, Phoenix, and Boston. You're really limited with what you can do. You're really limited. Yeah. Because Phoenix is paying so much money for... oh, my God, man. The Bradley Beal idea was so brutal. So brutal. Got 3,900 viewers in here. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. Come on, let's get to 4,000. Hit the thumbs up on the stream if you guys do enjoy it. Tamani Kamara would make sense for some teams. I don't think Portland is trading him. That's another guy that could start for them next year. Corey Kispert, yes, I think he could be available. The problem with Kispert, it gets a little complicated with the trade because he's a poison pill guy. So basically, he got that rookie extension. So basically, when they trade him, they only have to, like, I mean, they're under the salary cap, I think, so they can, or yeah, they're under the cap, so they can maybe make some things work out. But 5.7 million is what they have to send out. But the other teams are going to be absorbing basically 14 million a year. So they have to basically send out 14 million a year. So you might need a third team involved in that. Rack, thank you for the donation. I think Indy trades TJ McConnell to a point guard needy team. I mean, would you think about that? It's too quiet. I agree. I mean, TJ McConnell could still be one of the best backup point guards in the league. I don't think McConnell can play in the playoffs. Like, he was good against the Knicks last year in the playoffs, for sure. Got a great inside shot, great mid-range jumper. But I think you really can't play him more than, like, X amount of minutes because of the defense. So, yeah, maybe they look to trade him. I know he's, like, a fan favorite, so that would be tough. But he's not making too much money. It's definitely a tradable salary. Does Minnesota trade Jaden McDaniels? I mean, I think McDaniels has been pretty disappointing off that new contract extension, for sure. Just hasn't taken that leap offensively. We are about an hour and 40 away from the deadline being over, and no more trades can happen in the NBA season until basically like May or June or June. TJ to Atlanta. I mean, they could use a backup point guard, but I think they need to add another score first guy. Like, I'm just so nervous about Atlanta. I mean, like, for their sake. I mean, this is sick for San Antonio. Their pick goes outright to San Antonio. And right now, if they were in the playing tournament, I mean, they'd go, we'll say this is going to be Philly. I don't even know if they beat Philly in the first leg. I don't. And then you go home, that's going to be, that's going to be what, like the 11th pick in the draft, 12th pick in the draft? That kind of sucks. So I'd like to see Atlanta, who is the 23rd ranked offensive team, add a little bit of offense. That's why I thought Brandon Ingram made some sense for them. Because I think Ingram, I mean, maybe they didn't like the fit with Jalen Johnson, but they were rumored in like being interested. So I don't know why they didn't go after him. They do have 2 first-round picks potentially in this draft, not theirs. They own Sacramento's top 12 protected pick. So, hey, Sacramento loses in the play tournament. They could get the 13th or 14th pick. And they also get the Lakers pick. But the Lakers, I mean, they got better. So that pick's probably going to be in the 20s. And everything. I'm going to the Wizards-Hawks game this Saturday. That's pretty dope, man. I went to a Hawks Heat game last year. It was fun. You like enter the stadium on like the highway. That's all my take out of it. Sexton to the Pistons. Don't hate that. It's just like, can you run out some Sexton, Cade, Ivy lineups? I don't know if they want another smaller guard, but I guess they could sacrifice a little bit of defense for some offense. They are what? 12th ranked defensively, 18th ranked offensively. D. Hardy, thank you for the donation. Should the Celtics do anything either by trade or buyout market? Well, they really can't do much on the buyout market. I mean, it's really tough for the Celtics to pull off a deal. I don't think so. I think you just hope that the experience of this team, them getting it done last year, I know there's been some regression. I don't think you make a deal there. So everyone is saying shams. Now when I see it like this, we're going to see a big deal go down. Bang. All right, Yusuf Nurkic and a 2026 first-round pick for Cody Martin, Vasa Micic, and a 2026 second rounder. Oh, God. All right, so that 2026 first. Where is that? That 2026 first is the Washington swap. How are they even able to move a swap? I didn't think they were able to. All right, that is it. That is, oh man. I mean, I like Cody Martin. I brought him up as an idea for like the Nuggets to get him at the deadline, and they get Nurkic off your team. And I think this makes total sense for Charlotte to get some draft capital for taking on Nurkic's bad money next year. This is a great deal for them. I don't know, man. I like Cody Martin in a playoff series as like your 7th man, but do we even think that they can get there with Cody Martin? Their center rotation is what? Nick Richards now? Like, their center rotation is Nick Richards. Another trade's got to be made, right? Another trade's got to be made. I'm sure they're happy to get Nurkic off your team, but they got to make another move. They got to make another move. Did he tweet anything more about this trade? No, he did not. Yeah, this is interesting. This is interesting for sure. Rec, thank you for the donation. First rounder for Martin and Misic is wild. I agree. I mean, they get like a fine backup. Oh God, I don't know. His like at the rim field goal percentage isn't great. Maybe it's gonna be a little bit better now that he's like for the first time. Well, he was in a winning environment in 24 with OKC, but for the first time in a while, playing for a team trying to contend. But man, if you were trading Nurkic in a first, I thought you were gonna get a little bit more impactful of a player. I like Cody Martin. I do. I just don't know the ramifications of that pick. If somebody like has a tweet or like knows somebody that's doing that, because right now it's a swap. Because can I look at, let's see, can I do this? No, that's just draft. I thought I could see draft picks on this, maybe not. Suns future draft picks. So if we look at their future picks, I'm pretty sure it was a swap from, yeah, like how can you even trade a swap compared to the Stepien rule? I don't know, my head is spinning with their picks. They just have no draft capital going forward. Oh my God. Maybe you should have kept DeAndre Ayton. That's funny. Maybe they should never have traded for Nurkic. Yeah, maybe. Does Nurkic get bought out? I don't think so, just because he has 2 years left on his deal. But yeah, this was definitely the biggest trade that we've seen today. I mean, Ingram did happen after midnight. Chris Haynes maybe posted the that is not Chris Haynes. All right. Where's Chris Haynes? There we go. Let's see what we got here. So acquired first round picks in the Utah deal. Okay. So it's in the Utah deal, which I'm confused which one they own in the Utah deal. Because I don't think they own a Utah 1 in 26, right? They own the 2025 first. I think they own the 2027 first. Yep. 2027 first in the Utah deal. And they own the 2029. Yeah. So they did. Okay. It must be the 27 pick, right? All right. So Shams must have got that wrong. All right. So I'm glad I kind of knew that. Maybe we'll see what happens there. Kelvin, thank you for the donation. Do the Knicks move for somebody in the buyout market? I hope so. They could use a defender if like Javonte Green gets bought out or somebody like that. Both expiring contracts. It must be a 2027 pick. Central source. Yeah, I like this for Charlotte because hey, even if it's the 30th pick in the 2026 draft, who knows how that draft is going to be? And you can hit on somebody that could be a good rotational player for just taking on Nurkic when you're going to be bad anyway. That's good. And hey, they need a starting center with Mark Williams in LA. Maybe it was just a typo. Yeah, I think so. Let's see if he corrects himself. Hey, Shams is probably doing like the ESPN broadcast, and he's getting calls left and right from agents, GMs, scout, like all these people in the front office. So we'll cut him some slack. This is from the 3-for-1 trade. Yes, that's what Chris Haynes said. So, yeah. Because I'm like, wait, they can't trade a swap because of the Stepien rule. There's only a reason why you could swap it. So, yeah. I forgot Cam Reddish was in that Mark Williams deal. I wonder if Cam Reddish could get bought out because he could be a good defender. I kind of wanted to see him back on the Knicks, but I don't really know if the Knicks would want him back. I'm sure it didn't end all that well. Did Underdog maybe? Yeah. I don't know, man. Like, I don't know how I feel about this one. Like, I don't know. They just need another center. So you think there's another trade to be made? I hope they don't trade those first round picks they got from the 2031 trade. Do I think Chris Middleton gets bought out? Thank you for the donation, Lionel. No, I do not, just because he has 2 years left on his deal. We rarely see guys with 2 years left get bought out, especially at that much money. It just doesn't benefit Washington to have a $34 million dead cap on their books next year, because he's going to opt into that. Shams corrected it. Okay. Yeah, no, like, that makes sense. Or maybe corrected it on the stream. It's not a typo, someone's saying? Well, I mean, Chris Haynes said it was with one of their picks. Quentin Grimes going to make his debut on Friday. Let's go. It's going to pay me to see as a Knicks fan to see Quentin Grimes in a Sixers jersey. What do you think about Sham saying Khalil Ware might go to the Knicks? Stop. D. Hardy, thank you for the donation. Sorry for spazzing out there. Thoughts on Xavier Tillman trade for Yabusele? You'd have to attach a first-round pick. And I know Philly probably wouldn't want to give Boston somebody. But, I mean, I wouldn't do that trade now that you can, I think, give Gershon the non-taxpayer mid-level exception. So I don't think Philly would do that, but I do like that idea for Boston, which would come full circle with him there, which would be cool. Let's see what we got here. Patrick, thank you for the donation. Trade for Beal, and Hawks will pursue for flag. Oh, trade for Beal. Oh my God. What? We gotta put 2K down. I don't even know if Beal would waive that. Like the Wizards giving Bradley Beal the no trade clause really just set up a ripple effect in the NBA. Because Jimmy Butler would probably be his son right now if he didn't have that no trade clause. It's gloomy. Thank you for the donation. Denny for JT, Jalen Tyson, Craig Porter Jr., and Okoro plus 3 seconds. Who says no? I don't think Portland benefits really from that deal. I don't. Check NBA Central. What do we got here? It's another Shams video. Denver Nuggets, your team to watch for Chris Boucher. I love that photo. Just him shooting. Sorry, I got a call. I am dying over here. Sorry if I do sound sick to anybody. I thought Denver could have been a Cody Martin team, and I think they actually were, like, intrigued about it. I mean, like, Denver... what does Denver look to add? Because Denver's good this year. Like, Denver is back to being, like, a Tier 1 Western Conference team after their rough start. And if they're healthy, I think they could beat OKC in a playoff series. Minnesota obviously matched up really well against them, but Minnesota is not as good as they were last year. So, I don't know. Like, the way Russ is playing, the way Christian Brown is playing in year number 3, like, Aaron Gordon has been banged up this year, but is still a solid piece for you. And he's been hitting his threes. Strother, Peyton Watson defensively. I mean, they could make a win-now move. They can. And, like, everybody's still under contract, basically, going forward, since they just re-signed Jamal Murray and Aaron Gordon. If we go to the Denver Nuggets here, Jokic, Murray, Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon. Yeah, like, everybody's under contract. It's just that Zeke Naji trade they regret. They do regret that one. Like, do they move Deron Holmes in a deal instead of trading a first? I mean, coming off the Achilles, I don't know what value he has. But I honestly think in the playoffs, just because of their experience and them having the best player in the NBA, not this year because that's Shea's going to win MVP, I think, but having Jokic on your team, I'm taking Denver over everybody in the West right now outside of OKC. So I think Denver should look to make a win-now move. And who knows? At the end of the year, they could end up as the 2 seed. I don't know where you'd rather end up. I'm sure we'll get a feel for that at the end of the year. Like, would you rather... I mean, imagine somebody has to play Dallas in round 1. Like, if I have to think, Dallas is probably going to leapfrog the Clippers. Who knows, though, if guys are banged up on their team. How dare you be sick on trade deadline day? Dude, worst timing. Why couldn't I have gotten sick next week? I started getting sick on Tuesday. Wednesday, got sick. And I'm like, you know what? The worst of it's behind me. And then I wake up today with 104 temp. Not ideal. Not ideal whatsoever. I fell asleep at like 10 o'clock last night. Like a little bit after I uploaded the Jimmy Butler video. Which, sorry for that. It sounded like ASMR in the beginning. I was recording that very sick still at my apartment with my girlfriend. And I was just like throwing this in the mic. It got better throughout it, but I know that was kind of funny. That picture is hilarious. Anything else from Underdog? No. Mark Stein tweet anything? Oh, damn it. AD's not making his debut tonight. That sucks. That sucks. Bros Fever is cooking. For real, man. For real. I don't know. Like, Dallas, they're in a weird spot. Like, they need to be in position to not be a playing tournament team. Like, I would probably take, if it's a fully healthy Dallas team, I think I'll take Dallas over Houston in round 1. Maybe over Memphis. Maybe over LA. Like, oh my God. Give me LA and Dallas in round 1. That would feed families. Feed families if we can get that in round 1. Like, what's your guys' ideal playoff matchups right now that we could get? Yeah, Bora, yeah. Like, I think Dallas, LA in round 1 would be sick. If we somehow got, like, I don't even know if we'd get Phoenix versus any of these teams in round 1. Golden State versus, like, LA would be really cool as well, or Denver, I think, would be a lot of fun. Hey, Denver, LA in round 1, that'd be the matchup right now. Jokic versus Luka, I really wanted to see that last year in round 1. In the East, I mean, we'd get Orlando, Cleveland. I mean, Cleveland, Philly would be fun. Boston, Detroit, New York, Miami. Oh my God, as a Knicks fan, I would hate that. Pacers, Bucks, which would be great because Pacers beat them last year, but we know there's some bad blood between those two teams. Fiji, thank you for the donation. Yo, love the content. Hey, appreciate that a lot, man. You think Trae Young and Ant would be a good fit in the backcourt? Hell yeah. What? That'd be the best fit ever. I think the T-Wolves should really look into Young in the offseason. I mean, I don't think they have enough assets to get that done, and Atlanta doesn't own their draft capital going forward, so I don't think they would look to move Trae Young. I think Trae Young is there to stay. Kings Spurs play-in tortilla, that would be really fun. Peyton says Minnesota Memphis. Yeah, Ja versus Ant. That was a great series. What, in the 2022 playoffs in round one? That was a really good series. Man, out of Dallas, LA, yeah, that'd be sick. Celtics Philly is like a 2-7. Oh my god, I need that. Because I do think Philly, like, they were competitive with the Knicks last year with Tobias Harris. And I know Paul George hasn't been great this year, but he's better than what Tobias was in the playoffs for them last year. And you add in Gershon. I mean, it sucks McCain's out for the year. But Philly could be like kind of annoying in a round one series if Embiid's healthy. Battle of LA, that would be great. But I do think this version offensively of the Clippers, of the Lakers, really matches up well against defensively for the Clippers defense. Do the Lakers trade Braun in the summer? Nah. I don't think so. It's just like I don't think anybody's giving up valuable assets for LeBron at his age. I know he's still a great player, a great offensive talent, a great playmaker, but he's going to retire in like a year. So you're not giving up, I think, any draft capital for LeBron. Do I think Houston gets KD? I don't think it happens at this deadline. I'd be very shocked, especially after the Suns move. Like, they're trying to win now, which it's really going to be tough. I think, like, KD could be on the market in the offseason. I feel like we're just, like, it's inevitable that KD's going to get traded this offseason, which would be crazy. Kevin Durant gets traded twice in his career. Like, someone that's going to end up as a top 15 player of all time is going to get traded twice. And he's going to play for how many different teams? 1, 2, 3. That would be his fourth team, which would be kind of crazy. Or his fifth team. I can't do counting. OKC, Golden State. Like, what do you think was the best version of KD? Like, do you guys think it was like 2014 KD? Do you think it was like the Golden State Warriors days? How efficient he was? Like 51, 41, 90 splits. Top 10 in DPOY voting. Unreal. Brooklyn KD in 2022 was incredible. 21, where they lost to Milwaukee in the playoffs, was incredible. And honestly, KD last year was great for Phoenix. He really was. Yeah, I'm just trying to say Warriors KD's the best. Yeah, I mean, like, he was, like, the scoring wasn't as crazy as it is now in, like, those mid-2010s, and he put up 32 points per game. He finished runner-up in MVP in 12 and 13. Yeah, and in 2010. Like, KD only ending up with one MVP is kind of crazy. Like, Steve Nash having more MVPs than Kobe Bryant and Kevin Durant when it's all said and done is insane. And Steph has 2, right? So he's going to end up with the same amount of MVPs as Steph Curry. Yeah. I mean, Steve Nash is my favorite player of all time, so I'm cool with that. Miles Bridges in 2 seconds for Zachary Sachet. The Hawks aren't doing that, man. Sorry. Cat or Brunson? I think Brunson is better. But, man, Cat, oh, my God. That has been a home run pickup for the Knicks, the way Randall's been playing this year. And Dante. WCOE, thank you for the donation, man. I really appreciate it. What are your top 10 players? I mean, I would have to sit down and do it. I kind of don't, like, it's tough to, like, compare. I mean, like, Shaq I got to see a little bit of, but, like, Kareem, Russell, I never got the feel of, like, how they were in MJ back then. I think, like, for me, I like to do top 10 of when I was watching the NBA, and it's, like, the Knicks have talked to the Bulls about some of the Chicago's backcourt. Hey, my trade idea in my video for the Knicks was Ayo Dosunmu to the Knicks. So, could we get that? Is this a Bulls reporter? See, like, who is this? I guess it is a Bulls reporter. Yeah, I don't think it's Kobe White. That would be crazy. I mean, then I would think Miles McBride would be in that deal. Yeah, KD, Kawhi, Curry, Harden, Russ. Like, those are the best players I've ever seen. And then Luke is in there. Jokic is in there. Giannis is in there. Shea's about to be in there. Or might be in there. So I would have to, like, sit down and do my top players of, like, my generation. I started watching the NBA around, like, 2006, 2005. Probably have, like, more memories from, like, 2009 and on. I was a Knicks fan, though. So it was dark when I became a Knicks fan. Illinois legend, who, I would assume, yeah. Predict the standings at the NBA at the end of the year. That's tough. I want to see how the deadline finishes out. Kobe White's Dallas. I mean, they kind of have the assets to get it done. Going over Karis LeVert trades, I think you look at DeAndre Hunter, and I think you look at Cam Johnson as possibilities. Is this a Suns receiving like who's being aggressive? Does it say who? I mean, I'm sure Miami was all over this. Like, if KD doesn't sign an extension with them this offseason, they have to trade him. But then, like, where does KD's value drop on a one-year deal relative to right now where the team trading for him would get him for 2 playoff runs? Is Stone awake? Like, I don't think the Rockets are making a big move, which is kind of sad. Like, I know, like, I don't think they have to sacrifice any of their young core. I'm not saying trade for Kevin Durant, but go out, get Cam Johnson. Maybe if DeAndre Hunter's available. I mean, I don't know. If they need shooting. Go out and get Grayson Allen. Go out and get... I don't like Anthony Simon. I'm just saying, like, add some shooting, add Cam Johnson, add Kobe White. Let's get some shooting there in Houston. People are saying Brett Siegel. I don't trust this account. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if he really has any sources. What did he say? Martin Wow. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. People were saying Shams. All right, there we go. Did we get it? DeAndre Hunter to the Cavs. Boom. There it is. Wow. Karis LeVert, George Niang, 3 second-round picks. Oh, my God. 2 pick swaps. Okay. I mean, Cleveland's going to be good for a while. But I was going to say, the fact that they didn't have to give up a first is kind of insane in all of that. Okay, what do we think about this? I mean, I love this for Cleveland. I do. Like this, I'm glad they didn't stay put. I'm really glad they didn't stay put. And they were like, we can actually win it all this year. Let's go all in at the deadline. And let's add DeAndre Hunter. I don't know if I love this for the Hawks. I mean, it helps them a little bit offensively with LeVert. But you're trading away like your second best offensive guy right now with Jalen Johnson, Hurt, and Hunter. And I keep going back to the thing where they don't own their draft pick at the end of the year. So it's a little scary. The way they're heading. As I'm tweeting something out. So, yeah, like, yeah, give me your thoughts, guys. Cavs new title favorites. I love this, man, because they could have stayed pat, or stayed pat. And they could have just been like, whatever, we're really good right now. We don't have to make a move. I love this for them. I do. All right, so that was like another big trade that went down, man. This deadline has been insane. We just saw Nurkic get traded. We just saw DeAndre Hunter get traded. Jacob Peterson, thank you so much for the $20 donation. Thank you for all your content. Hey, man, thank you for your service, too. I really appreciate that. Hey, man, thank you so much. Hope everything's okay with you, man. I just know you're special, and I do appreciate that so much. And thank you again for your service, like I said. Michael, thank you. I think I answered that. Sorry. Shams again? Or is this people just still saying Shams? Yeah, this is... I like this a lot for the Cavs. I think this really makes them even more of a title favorite. And it's going to be tough because Hunter, I think, has taken more strides defensively this year than we've seen in the past. And offensively, man, you're adding somebody who's under contract too. That's what I love about this. And they don't trade Max Strus. LeVert's an expiring. Yeah, you move George Niang. You're not going to really lose sleep over that. And you keep Isaac Okoro. Like, you keep Isaac Okoro in all this, which is another trade asset for them in the offseason. DeAndre Hunter is making, what, $21, $23, $24 million? Now, his numbers are probably going to drop in Cleveland. But 27 years old, he's literally taking a year 6 leap. This is a great pickup for Cleveland as they're trying to, like, win the Eastern Conference. And them going up against the Knicks in the playoffs and them going up against the Celtics, that's who they're going up against. I think if Cleveland can just get to the NBA Finals, whatever. Then you worry about OKC, whoever you play then. But this sets them up. We're about to find out. Hopefully my stream says it's lagging a little bit. I don't know. Hopefully my stream is good. Sorry about that. Why? I don't know why this is freezing all of a sudden. Is it fine now? We're good? We're back? Sorry about that. So you'd see, like, this makes no sense. Last year, if you guys were at the trade deadline stream, it was the last days of my computer. It was the last days of my PC. And I said, after how bad that stream went with the lag, I got a new one. And of course, maybe the trade deadline streams are just unlucky. Because I didn't have an issue in the free agency stream. I didn't have an issue in the draft stream. Thank you guys for saying it's all good. But I really love this deal for Cleveland. It's just the fact that he's under contract. You keep Okoro. Now, what are those swaps? I mean, like, if it's a 2031 swap, you never know. You never know. But, like, Cleveland's going to be better than Atlanta throughout the next few years. So, like, I don't know if those swaps are ever going to convey. But, yeah, that's a really good pickup for Cleveland. So, like, hey, even with all these big deals going down before today's, like, final hours of the deadline, we're still seeing some major moves be made. Too much motion on YouTube, can't handle it. Ha, for real, man. So we're about an hour and 14 minutes away from the deadline being over. I still think Chicago can make another move. Orlando, I mean, maybe they're seeing like this year as a wash year. Let's not give up some future assets for shooting, which is kind of disappointing after their expectations going into the year, or like at the start of the year. I know it was very short before Paolo got hurt, but still. Man. Yeah. I mean, I'm not. Is anybody surprised? Is anybody surprised that the Phoenix locker room is toxic right now? I'm not. Like, Bradley Beal's probably pissed because they're like, we don't want you here. We want to trade you. We want you to waive the no trade clause. And he's like, no. So then maybe ownership or front office is maybe mad at Bradley Beal. I mean, oh my God. Like, I'm sure Booker's fine in that locker room, but maybe KD, there's a little bit of rumblings there because KD said he would maybe go to like this team. And Phoenix is like, what the heck? I don't know. That is crazy. I mean, all this for being so far over the luxury tax, being a second apron team, not owning any draft capital. They are 25-25. We still have 32 games left. There's still a lot of NBA season to play. It feels like the season's almost over, but no, we got 32 games left, at least for the Suns. Rack, thank you for the donation. Booker out of there, please. That may happen in the offseason. I mean, the Sun or the Rockets are going to be calling them in the offseason. 1,000%. I mean, we go to the Rockets. The one thing they can offer for Devin Booker is that they have their draft picks. So let's say they give them that. Let's say they give them that. Let's say they give them this. And then let's say, I mean, this is exactly why. This would be a 200 IQ move from Raphael Stone. No. Raphael Stone. Yes, that is the GM. I was like, Monty McNair? No. Raphael Stone getting the Suns picks for the Nets picks because they think that this was going to be a disastrous year for the Suns and Devin Booker could somehow become available. I'm just saying, like, could something like this happen in the offseason? I mean, it's going to cost a lot. Like, it's going to cost a lot to get Devin Booker, who's arguably the greatest player in Suns history. It's not going to work right now because of some restrictions. But you're looking at what it's going to cost. Maybe it's Şengün. Maybe Jalen Green goes to different. I'm just saying, you could probably get Devin Booker without Amen Thompson, too. EB Camp, thank you for the donation. Hawks probably only made the deal for financial reasons, while Hunter still has some value. DeJounte trade looking worse and worse by the day we're cooked. Yeah, I mean, trading for DeJounte has not worked out. And we're still seeing kind of the ramifications from that deal. But, yeah, this is, man, for the Hawks. Like, I mean, I go to Tankathon right now. Where are they in this? They are currently 10. Oh my God, how many spins is it going to take me for them to get in the top 4? Let's see. Will this work? First one, no. Shout out to the Hornets getting Cooper Flag. Second spin, no. Third spin, no. Okay, maybe it's going to be less likely than we think. That is via the Spurs. All right, you know what? Okay, it took me, 5 spins for them to get a top 4 pick from Atlanta? You never know, and that has got to kill you as a Hawks fan or the Hawks front office. So, like, they got to add some, like, contributors, man. Brody, thank you for the donation. Hate being a Suns fan right now. Traded for another guard. I mean, Cody, I would say, is a little bit more of a wing than a guard. I would say. Shelon, yeah, I think the Cavs should get a backup center. I always thought they should have did that around the deadline. And then, thank you for the donation. Trev, you think the Rockets will make any small moves today? I mean, I don't know if they're done after Jaden Springer. I would like for them to add a shooter. Because unlike Orlando, they can do something in the playoffs. They're 32-18. They're a 3 seed, and it's a loaded conference. And I know your window is way, way more open than some of these other teams, and you're going to be fine next year in the next 10 years, or next 5+. But let's add some shooting. Like, it doesn't have to be anybody crazy. Like I said, like, I just literally went to the like the top 3-point shooters in the league this year. I don't know if you can get Grayson Allen. I don't know if you really want to talk with the Suns right now. But could you get, I don't know, who could be available here? Could you trade for Naz Reid? That'd be kind of cool. He's a free agent at the end of the year. I'm sure Minnesota would like to re-sign him. Could you even just take a flyer on Eric Gordon? He's been there before. Hey, Dick Kid, thank you for the donation. Yo, what's the word, Matt? I'm on my lunch break. What big trades have I missed? Thank you so much for the donation, man. So we saw Yusuf Nurkic get traded to the Hornets for Cody Martin. And Charlotte also got a first. We just saw DeAndre Hunter, a pretty big deal, gets moved to the Cavs. As the Cavs have a really nice closing lineup of Garland, Mitchell, Hunter, Mobley, and Allen. I think they could add another backup big, and they're cooking. They are. I think Vooch should get traded, but Chicago may just look to move him in the offseason. But 1 year of Vooch, his value is going to drop off a decent amount. The Pelicans are expected to keep Zion and CJ. I get keeping Zion. I don't think they should be in any rush to trade Zion. They really couldn't trade CJ McCollum. Like, that could have been, I don't know if that would have been a Houston team, but that could have been an Orlando team. I didn't even think about that. Man. Like, the Pelicans? I don't know. I mean, I think they're going to they could be in the playoff conversations next year with everybody healthy, with maybe a top pick in the draft and a whole offseason and, like, reshuffle the core. Not, like, reshuffle the core, but they re-sign Bruce Brown. Like, they're going to have deep amount of wings. But, yeah, I think I would have looked to move CJ. That's somebody I didn't even think about for Orlando or Detroit. Like, I've talked about him to Detroit, but he's making a lot of money at $33 million. But say you did Jonathan Isaac. Say you did, I don't know, Gary Harris. Like, you don't really have to trade any of your young core. CJ's getting up there in age. And say you traded, like, your top or, like, your lottery protected first and you get Denver's first. Like, I think New Orleans would do this, right? I think they would do this. Just because, like, that Denver pick's going to be in the mid to late 20s. That, like, your pick's lottery protected and just some matching salary. I don't know if New Orleans would want Jonathan Isaac, but I thought it was a possibility. People are saying shams. Are people lying to me? People are lying to me, as they always do. As they always do. So this is from Mark Spears, who pretty sure is a pretty respected source. I think he appears on ESPN too. I'll take shams for Julius Randle. Yeah, like, does Julius Randle end up getting traded? I wouldn't say he's a consistent shooter. Works every time. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to do it. I'm going to click it. We got over 5,000 people in here. Thank you guys for coming out. So, yeah, I'm going to... What do you guys think would be better? Because last year, after the deadline, I graded every team's deadline. Would you guys want to see me grade every team's deadline, even if they didn't make moves? Or would you guys rather see me grade every trade that happened? Like, what would be... I think a little bit more appealing, I guess, for a viewer standpoint. Why we live? Just power rankings. Power rankings are going to come out this weekend. Don't worry. I'm hoping my flu goes away. All teams. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll be doing all teams. Because I was like, maybe I could start that recording before I went live here. Now I'm seeing, like, each trade teams. All right, I'm going to have to really make an executive decision here. Dame to the Rockets would make sense. I mean, I haven't really thought about that, but might be better suited for Milwaukee if they can get Giannis to never leave them. All right, we're back half and half. Because I was like, all right, maybe I could start recording some of these before the live stream. But I was, like, trying to guess who's done at the deadline and who's not. I'm like, maybe Toronto's done. Like, maybe Chicago's done. I was like, I don't know. They could make moves beforehand. So we'll see. We'll see. Thank you guys for watching, for just tuning in here on a Thursday. I appreciate it. Last year, though, I don't know if you guys were here last year, but I had some, like, computer issues, and it was so frustrating. It really was. So thank you all for kind of tuning in this year. Let me see one thing. Poll. Can you do polls in these? Oh, I can. Cool. All right. Post-trade deadline video. Hey, thank you, man. Watching from India. I really appreciate that. I don't know if it's, like, pretty late for you. Let's see. Grading every trade or grading every teams deadline. All right, let's see what this poll is. This is actually kind of sick. Gilo Ball, thank you so much for the donation. Love the trade for the Cavs, keeping Okoro and Tyson and creating a roster spot for the buyout market for backup big. Exactly. Yeah, they could definitely get a backup big in the buyout market instead of making a trade. Yeah, the Warriors need a center, definitely. I think the Warriors could look to add another big man. I don't really know if I trust Kevon Mooney and Trey Jackson-Davis as the duo going forward. All right, it's looking like grading every team's deadline is taking the lead there. Jordan, thank you for the donation. Pistons have acquired 3 players in the last 24 hours without trading anyone out. Surely they have another trade in mind. I agree. Like, it's been kind of weird for the Pistons, but they do have a lot of cap and roster spots, and they're accumulating a ton of seconds. It's not like they're getting any first. But come on, man. Let's get Cade Cunningham some help. Like, Cade has been playing like an all-NBA talent this year. He's an all-star in year number 4. But this Pistons team is pretty brutal outside of, like, a few moments here and there from some guys to help Cade. And they're game under 500. I'd just like to see them in the playoffs. I'm sure Minnesota would like to see them in the playoffs so they can get, like, the 16th pick. Draymond, thank you for the donation, man. Thank you for tuning into the stream. I'm not reading that out loud. Spurs got to make one more trade. I think so, too. Like, I think the Spurs could look to add a backup center. I think if you got some centers to deal, this is the time to do it. Like, I don't know if the Warriors or the Spurs would have wanted Jericho Sims, but maybe the Knicks should have waited a little bit. Rec, thank you for the donation. Do I think Jordan Poole is a Wizard next season? Like, yeah, he's definitely not getting traded today. I think it's possible because that deal had a nice little voice crack right there. It's got 2 years left after this year, and $34 million isn't that crazy, and his shot has been better. He's 25. Maybe he does end up getting traded in the offseason. Can we do Jordan Poole for Bradley Beal? Would Bradley Beal waive his no-trade clause to go back? Maybe. Got 1,000 votes in that poll. Thank you guys for voting. I appreciate it. Jakob Poeltl, goodbye. Yeah, like, I don't know. I think the Raptors want to compete next year, which I'm excited. Like, year 3, Grady Dick. We will see if Jacoby Walter develops, but Scotty fully healthy, quickly fully healthy. This year's kind of been a wash for them, too. Like, everyone's been hurt. Like, them and the Magic and the Sixers. Most banged-up teams in the East, health-wise. The Nogs, thank you for the $2 donation. Wouldn't be surprised if Trey leaves the Hawks. I mean, Trey's under contract for a while, and I think Trey likes it in Atlanta. Like, he's under contract for the next 2 years. He's eligible for an extension, I think, in the offseason as well. So, we'll see. If they don't get an extension done, I think it's something to keep an eye on. Then, maybe, if they don't sign an extension, they could look to trade Trae Young. Why can't Rozier average, like, 20 points per game and 6 assists like he did in his final year at Charlotte? I think it's also more, like, empty stats on, like, not a great team then. And, yeah, but Rozier has been so different than what he was in Miami. All right, boys, we are about an hour away from the trade deadline being over. An hour away from the most hyped up trade deadline in NBA history being over. What are your final predictions? Give me them in the chat for the last hour of this. What are your final predictions? Nas Reed spams threes. Rozier the gambler. I know, like, Terry Rozier could be in jail. Who knows? Vucevic to the Warriors. Boucher trade. Yeah, like, could the Warriors try to trade for Boucher? Not the worst idea. Marcus Smart to Brooklyn. I mean, could that be Cam Johnson going back to Memphis? Vooch to the Warriors. A lot of people saying that. Cam Johnson to Orlando. I would like, even if Orlando doesn't make the playoffs this year or they flame out, you still have Cam Johnson under contract next year. I would love to do that. But the Magic are about to get very expensive because you have the Franz contract kicking in next year at $38 million. Suggs at $35 million, although it is descending, which is nice. But then you're going to have Paolo's extension kick in 2027. So they're basically, and then KCP is going to be under contract for one more year. Wendell Carter Jr., I believe that is fully guaranteed. Jonathan Isaac, not as much. So, like, this is going to be a very expensive team soon. So maybe they know that's happening, so they don't want to add Cam Johnson, and they want to look to just, like, add moves on the margins via the draft and get good shooters there. Because there are some good shooters in this draft. I mean, I'll just pull up Tankathon real quick. But, like, looking at good shooters in this draft, I mean, Lee McNeely, I don't know if he would make it to Orlando. Ian Jackson could be a good shooter. Jason Richardson from Michigan State. Alex Caravan, obviously. Danny Wolf as a stretch 5. Will Riley has some shooting potential if he declares. Nick Clifford from Colorado State can be a good shooter. Maybe not as many good shooters as you would like in this class. Thank you, Rec, for the donation. My prediction is that the Grizzlies shock everybody. I'm ready for it. I want to see the Grizzlies make a move. The Grizzlies, Rockets, or Thunder. Philip, thank you for the donation as well. What do you think the Sixers should do? They're in such a weird spot right now with the whole pick protection with the Thunder and the on and off injuries. I think in a perfect world, you guys end up with the top 6 pick. I think you guys are going to be too competitive with Embiid, looking like he's back for the most part. I would trade Paul George if somebody would take him. I don't think anybody's taking Paul George right now. So it sucks that McCain is out for the year. And I think you guys will be competitive enough to make the play-in tournament. So I think best case scenario, you make the playoffs, you give OKC the 15th pick, you're the 8th seed, you lose in round 1, and then you really reassess this team in the offseason. You re-sign Grimes. Embiid doesn't play in the Olympics this summer, right? So hopefully he's a little bit more healthy as that contract extension's about to kick in. Hopefully Paul George, who did suffer 2 injuries before the season started or in the beginning of the year, is good to go. Maxi's good to go. McCain's good to go. And then, yeah, maybe you just add some moves on the horizons in the offseason. Maybe you trade KJ Martin. I wonder if they will guarantee that contract. I think KJ Martin would like to stay in Philly because I think he's due an $8 million payday. Maybe you look for a better backup center than Andre Drummond. You re-sign Gershon. And then you go from there. I mean, like, what's a bright spot is, like, Maxey and McCain are going to be here for a while, even with Embiid and George. But if we're also thinking about it, I would look to move Embiid if there was actually a market for him. And I know that kind of sucks. Sorry, I was doing this here. But, yeah, your pick is top 6 protected, but you're going to get your first in 26. 27 is top 8 protected. And then it's top 8 protected again in 28. So, like, you have your draft capital. You have some Clippers picks. I would look at maybe the Embiid market. Oh, KJ's in Detroit. Duh. He got traded yesterday. Sorry. Yeah, that's on me. I completely forgot that because they didn't get any players back, right, in that deal. So that's why I forgot about that. Thank you for saying that. I wonder if Detroit is going to guarantee his $8 million. Maybe he lost out on that $8 million. What could we get for Miles Bridges? I thought he could have been a Buck because they're like a desperate team. Could he have been a Sun? The Suns got to get under the second apron, which I think they can in the offseason. Maybe they trade for him in the offseason. But I would look to move Bridges. I mean, for obvious reasons, I'm not the biggest fan of Bridges. But I think you can try to sell high on him with the contract being descending. And you're just going to try to accumulate draft capital. Who's winning Rookie of the Year? I agree. Like, let me know in the chat. I wonder, like, what the Rookie of the Year odds are right now. If I went... let's see real quick. If I looked... Can I see this on FanDuel? So right now, here are the Rookie of the Year odds. You got Khalil Ware as a favorite. Wow. Plus 185. Khalil Ware has been great recently. I guess that you're betting on him being that good in the second half. Jalen Wells, Stephon Castle, I'd probably sprinkle some money on. Reece Shay's been really good as of late. And he may get more offensive touches. I mean, LeVert's going to shoot the ball a ton in Atlanta. Connect might have some value now, some juice in Charlotte, because he's going to get a ton more shots up. Thank you for the $2 donation, D'Lo. Do you think the Spurs are done for the deadline? No. I don't know if it's going to be somebody as big as Cam Johnson, but I think they could add a backup center, because they don't really have one right now. Travis, thank you for the donation. Kessler to Boston or Houston, or any other Celtic moves. I don't really think it makes a ton of sense for him to Houston. Boston would love him, but I don't think Utah is doing that. I don't think Danny Ainge wants to send him there. A lot of Stephon Castle in the chat for Rookie of the Year. A lot of Stephon Castle in the chat. People are saying look at Central. Anything here? The Suns are likely done making moves for the day and are going to look to improve their roster in the offseason. Crazy. Man, what a disaster season it's been for the Suns. They're the 10th seed. They're the 27th ranked defensive team. Who is their backup center? I guess it's Oso and Richards. Oh boy. They're 10th in offense. I mean, they need to stay healthy for the rest of the year. And KD, I mean, he's got that ankle injury. Hopefully that doesn't linger. Sheesh, man. Sheesh. If that Gambo's pretty like respectable in or he is respectable in the Suns sphere. It's a fun starting 5. Fun closing 5 for sure. Jaden McDaniels for the Grizzlies. I don't know if Memphis and Minnesota would want to make a trade. I like that. But I actually do think Minnesota is going to inevitably have to move McDaniels because they're not going to be able to move Gobert. Them choosing Gobert, and even if you want to say it's Gobert and Naz Reid over Cat, is crazy. I know Cat's contract got expensive, but still, what are we doing? What are we doing the way Cat's playing this year? And it's like a homegrown star in Minnesota. KD getting traded to the Magic. KD for Franz. Dude, if KD was 30, maybe he was 32, like, when was he in Golden State? He was 30 in Golden State. Wow, that feels forever ago. He's going to be 37 years old next year. Oh, man, that is scary, relying on him. It's just like Bradley Beal does not fit this team, and they never should have made that deal. Never should have made that deal. Look at Central again. I'm on Central right now. Should I look at Central? Whoa. Whoa. Interesting. Interesting. I mean, if I'm Atlanta and they were going to give me my first round picks back, I think I would have taken that. I think I would have taken that. What's up, Zarf? How we doing, man? What's up, man? Yeah, that's interesting. I think I would have done that if I were Atlanta. If I could get all my first pack, because Atlanta, or excuse me, San Antonio kept all of Atlanta's first from the Fox trade, which was crazy. Which was crazy. Is Central putting up generational numbers today? Probably. 300,000 followers. Let's see. It's just betting. Too funny, man. Too funny. Oh my god. Central probably is putting up generational numbers. See, like, they can't be tweeting this out, though. You would think it would be a brick. This goes everything against they are. 5,200 people in here. Thank you, guys. If you could drop a like on the stream, it goes a long way, so I would appreciate that a ton. And hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed. NBA content all year long. Talk about every single team. And it's really fun. It's just really fun here on the channel. I only live stream about 3 times a year. I mean, the Luka trade was kind of an emergency live stream. But I live stream for the draft. I live stream for free agency. And I live stream for the trade deadline. And fighting through the flu with you guys today. Hopefully I don't sound too sick. Hopefully I don't sound too sick. Chris Haynes tweet anything out recently? All right, we are 53 minutes away from the deadline being over. 53 minutes away. Here we go. Are the Knicks done? I think so. I don't think they find a Mitchell Robinson trade. I don't think they're going to be able to get good enough value for him just because he hasn't played yet this year. I thought about maybe them getting Boucher, Dosunmu in a 3-team trade. Not going to happen, probably. I don't think the Knicks want to make a trade with the Raptors. Pretty sure they hate each other right now. The Knicks were, like, suing the Raptors in the offseason. This is indeed my flu game. Oh, my God, that poll's at 50-50 now. Look at that. That's kind of crazy. How many votes, too? 2,200 votes and we're at 50-50. We're at an odd number. How can we be 50-50 at an odd number? Javon Carter to the Knicks. That I don't mind if it wouldn't cost the Knicks much because the Knicks could look to add some defense. So what are, like, some, like, I guess, I'm trying to think, like, who's, like, popular here on Fanspo? Can I see? Yeah. So, I mean, all these guys have pretty much been moved. Gabe Vincent's still up here. Brandon Ingram. Seeing him on a Raptors jersey is weird. Hopefully he's back soon. Vucevic. I think Cam Johnson, probably some of the bigger names that could still get moved. DeAndre Hunter was somebody I did not expect to get traded today. Do both. A little redundant, I would say. A little redundant. I was actually going to try to go to Rutgers, Illinois last night. One, would have been terrible timing with all these trades. And I think I would have got the whole arena sick. Gopi, thank you for the donation. Watching from India, it's 1 a.m. Hey, man, really appreciate you watching this late at night over there. When Luka got traded, I checked it was either April 1st or calling my brother who's in Dallas and, oh my God, your poor brother, man. I feel so bad for Mavericks fans. So bad. I would feel, oh my God. It's probably how I felt when the Knicks traded KP, but on another level. Bean, man, thank you for the donation. My only question, what are the Nets doing, right? Like, are you going to pay Cam Thomas $25+ million a year in the offseason? Are you not going to trade Cam Johnson? I mean, maybe the market just isn't there for Cam Johnson, or maybe they're asking too much from San Antonio or Orlando. I'm surprised, and maybe just like Houston and OKC are just not that interested in Cam Johnson, which is going to hurt the value a little bit. Thank you for the donation, Fandon from Portugal. Atlanta is lost. Yeah, I agree, man. It's weird right now for the Hawks because I'm scared. I'm scared that they're going to have to give the Spurs a good draft pick. Like, we're simming this lottery here on Tankathon. Maybe it's taking more spins than I think it will. Oh, there it is. Imagine we get Cooper Flag on the Hawks. Oh, my God. That would be insane. Do I think Vucevic is a good fit for the Warriors? I mean, Steph's never played with a floor-spacing 5. Plus, him and Draymond, I kind of like it. Vucevic's not a good defender, but Draymond can help complement him defensively. And then you add in Jimmy. I don't hate it. Like, if you have, like, I don't know what the lineup would be. Steph, Jimmy, Kuminga, Draymond, Vucevic. That's something, right? And all of them are under contract next year as well. Besides Kuminga, but he's restricted. Do I think Dallas is going to make another move? I don't think so anymore. I don't think so. Unless they try to trade like Jaden Hardy or, I mean, they do have some tradable contracts still. I don't know if they're going to trade Clay. They're not trading Kale, obviously, or Najee Marshall. I don't think they want to move. Like, if there was maybe a Dwight Powell, Exum, OMP, Dinwiddie trade out there, maybe. But they don't want to trade any draft capital. Hey, what's up, Angel? Thank you for the donation. Duval, man. Hopefully, Liam Cohen can save Trevor Lawrence. I'm hoping for you guys. Bro said Wiseman. Yeah, the Mavericks have done enough. I don't think maybe they should make any more deals. Like, Quentin Grimes, Anthony Davis, Max Christie, that's enough. Imagine you told somebody that they got Anthony Davis, and you'd be like, oh my god, Kyrie, Luka, and Anthony Davis. I mean, what if they traded? Could they have gotten AD, do we think, without trading Luka? Probably not, right? Like, say they traded all their first-round picks they could have. Derek Lively, probably not. No. I mean, I think LeBron, like, if AD was made available, he would get a way better offer than what Dallas could have gave. Do I think the Chiefs are going to three-peat on Sunday? I don't know. I live in Philly. My girlfriend's an Eagles fan. I'm a Steelers fan. So she has it a lot better than me right now. But I'm going to be with a lot of Eagles fans. So I don't think I could say that they're going to three-peat. But it's tough to bet against Mahomes, right? Could you not trade Kyrie? Why would the Lakers want Kyrie, right? It would have to be like a three-team trade. Zion to Indiana, A+ trade. I mean, Zion and Siakam and Turner, it's a little weird, right? Should Kansas City trade for KD? He might join there next. Boucher to the Spurs, I think, makes a ton of sense for sure. Boucher is the only player left on the Raptors, though, from the 2019 championship team, which is crazy. I did not expect him to be the last one remaining out of everybody there at the time. Giannis to the Warriors, I mean, they always wanted it. It's never going to happen. Maybe if the Bucks, like if Giannis requested a trade, if they didn't win it all in 21, and Wiseman had some value, and Kuminga had some, I don't know, maybe there was a scenario where that happened, but it's not happening anymore. If Giannis ever requested a trade, OKC, Houston, Brooklyn, Orlando, who knows? By the time Giannis requests a trade, Chicago could have a ton of assets. If you're looking at big market teams, the Lakers, I don't know about the Knicks, but I just don't think it's ever happening to Golden State. New All-Star jerseys are fire. Today, I think NBA Central posted that. But I missed them. Let's see. Yeah, those are pretty cool. Those are gas, I can't lie. I would have liked them, I don't know. Did the NBA used to do it where teams would wear their own jerseys, right? Like KD would be in a Suns jersey, LeBron would be in a Lakers jersey. I don't know if they would, they're probably never going back to that because they could sell a lot of money on those jerseys. Check Brett Siegel. All right. I'm not trusting this account too much. Yeah, this is going to be Durant's final year. I mean, maybe that is true. That is probably going to be true. Yeah, so KD's probably going to get traded in the summer, which is going to set up a very insane 2025 offseason. Very insane 2025 offseason. And what's like so scary then is like you never know when that trade can happen. You never, ever know. Oh my God. I mean, it could happen the day after they get eliminated in the playoffs. Either it's in the play-in. Imagine they don't make the playoffs. Like all these teams here have a reason to make the playoffs outside of San Antonio. Like the Kings pick is top 12 protected, so not the end of the world. But Dallas, after the trade they made, yeah. Minnesota, they were in the conference finals last year, and they don't own their first round pick directly this year. Clippers don't own it. Lakers don't own it. All these teams want to make the playoffs. The Warriors, after the trade they made, want to make the playoffs. San Antonio is the only team where it's like, you know what? We don't have to make the playoffs this year. Phoenix could drop to the 11th seed and not even make the play-in tournament, which would be crazy. Would be crazy. KD to the Nuggets. I mean, they could probably offer something nice in the offseason. I mean, is Michael Porter Jr. and Aaron Gordon for KD? I don't know. My brain can't even think about that yet. I mean, Phoenix, if you can get two good players for a 37-year-old at that time, you take it. Dallas is a first-round exit. I don't know, man. I think this Dallas team is good. Like a closing lineup of Kyrie, we'll say it's Clay, and then you have like Washington, AD, and Gafford. Like that's pretty good. That is. Gopi, thank you for the donation. What do you think about each conference standings after what has gone downhill? I've been following your rebuilds for a while. For a long time it was you. I think you and Click. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I don't know. I think Phoenix might not make the play-in tournament. I think it's going to be Phoenix or Sacramento that doesn't make it. I think Golden State will get in as a 9th or 10th spot, but I don't even think Golden State's going to make the playoffs. For the East, I think Philly's going to leapfrog Chicago, and I think they're going to eventually leapfrog Atlanta. And Atlanta's going to go to the 10th seed. And I would say out of these teams to make the playoffs, I think if Philly's healthy, they can make it. And then I think Orlando would beat Detroit if it came down to it as well. Kyrie, Clay are minus on D, I know. But you add in PJ Washington, AD, and Gafford, that can really make up for some of their defense. Like, if we say, say they go up against the Thunder, right? You can easily put Clay or Kyrie on Case and Wallace, Isaiah Joe, and they'll be fine guarding those guys. Or Caruso. If they play Memphis, a little bit tougher, I would say. But you throw them on like Jake Arabia. You throw them on, I don't know if Marcus Smart's actually going to get minutes, but G.G. Jackson, one of those guys. Houston, like there's always like a guy on a team that you can kind of hide. Like we kind of saw that at times with Steph and Golden State. But there's some teams that match up very well against Dallas. So they, like, when a team goes to the conference finals or an NBA finals, a lot of it does come down to luck with seeding. Are they matched up against like 4 teams in a row that they're just a favorable matchup against? And I think Boston, like, it really showed last year the 1 seed in the East mattered a ton because they were able to get a banged up Miami in round 1, a banged up Cleveland in round 2, a banged up Indiana in round 3, and they ended up beating Dallas in a convincing fashion because they just matched up really well against them. I wonder if, like, Chicago's got to regret Patrick Williams, right? I just don't agree with that signing, and I never really did. And they probably couldn't even, I'm sure they wanted to trade him at the deadline, and nobody really wanted him. All right, we are 43 minutes away from the deadline being over. We got 5,400 viewers in here, 5,500 viewers. Thank you guys all for coming out. I appreciate it. Daryl Morey's a liar. Famous James Harden words. Famous James Harden words. Nothing, or Brian Windhorst says teams aren't really afraid of the top-seeded teams in the West. Interesting. You know what? I don't disagree outside of OKC, but who knows how Chet's going to look like when he comes back from his injury soon. Is he going to be the same player? But I would say Memphis, like there's too much talent in the West where the 7th seed or the 10th seed in the West is a lot closer to the 2 seed than we think. So I would say like, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Dallas or Minnesota or Golden State could somehow upset Memphis or Houston in round 1. We saw the Lakers beat Memphis as a 7-2 a few years ago. Like it's not impossible by any means. There's so much talent in the West that these teams are very close to each other. I would say the East, way more talent disparity between like Cleveland and Detroit or Cleveland and Orlando right now. Check Shams. Never does. I mean, Shams really only tweets like main stuff now, I feel like. He's not tweeting out rumors or anything, which I like. Not like engagement farming by any means. Thank you, Truman, for the donation. Pacers going to make anything happen. Too many small forwards or power forwards. I thought they were going to move Obi for like a backup center. It looks like they're not finding anybody that wants Obi to top its contract because, I mean, Obi's had his moments this year. And he's making, what, 14, 15, 16? Goes up a little bit. But it's just like liability on the defense, the defensive end. Great athlete, good in a way, 3-point shooter at times. But, yeah, taking a little bit of a step back this year, I would say. I really wanted him to work out on the Knicks, but how old is Obi? He's only 26. What does he spend 5 years in the league? He was only 21 when he got drafted. Well, he's going to be 27 very soon. Yeah, because he was older coming out of Dayton. How many years did he play at Dayton? He played only 2. Never mind. But he was 20 in his freshman year. Okay. Theo Harris, thank you for the $5 donation. What would be the best move for Denver? I thought they could have gone after Cody Martin. I think they could try to get an upgrade at the backup 5 spot. Someone that can give them 10 minutes a night. Chris Boucher makes a lot of sense. Will they get in that market? Maybe. But it may cost them like Zeke Naji and somebody. But they got Deron Holmes coming back next year. It is bad. Like, it sucks he's out for the year. I don't know if they're going to make a notable trade, though, in the next hour or in the next 40 minutes. What's your opinion on the Blazers not making any moves? I think it's weird. I know they've been kind of good lately. Do they want to be kind of good? I don't know. I'm sure Blazers fans are happy that this team is showing some promise. But not finding a Robert Williams trade, even if it's for multiple seconds, even if it's for 4 seconds, I would still do it. Because you got Klingon and Aiden. There's really no spot or room for Robert Williams right now. Like, could the Knicks... I don't know. I think the Knicks might have a roster spot. Or, actually, no, I don't think so. But, like, say we did something like this. The Knicks and the Blazers. I mean, one injured center for another one. And the Knicks could also get Tamani... No, I'm kidding. They're not trading Tamani Kamara. Delano Banton in this deal. Maybe some upside. Just kidding. We can't aggregate salaries. Why does it say the Knicks are a second apron team? Huh. Oh, this puts them into the second apron. Oh my God, really? It's 14.5 to 14.3. So maybe not. Maybe the Knicks are not getting Robert Williams at the deadline. Shams hasn't tweeted in 38 minutes. I know, right? It's quiet. It's too quiet right now. I'd like to think we're going to see at least one more notable deal go down at the deadline. Like one more notable deal. Obviously, we can't complain. We got so many moves over the last... Oh, Shams. There we go. There we go. See, I found this one out first because of my phone. All right. All right. All right. Okay. I don't know, man. Terrence Mann has been bad this year. Wait. Atlanta's giving up seconds in this deal? What? What? Why? Bogey's the better player. What? This is crazy. I don't really know if I agree with this for Atlanta. Atlanta's had a very weird trade deadline. This is a great trade for the Clippers. This is a crazy deadline for the Atlanta Hawks. Yeah, what do you guys think about this trade? I don't know. Atlanta's got to make the playoffs. They don't own their first round pick. Terrence Mann, unless he's been better as of late, but last time I checked his efficiency, I mean, 44% from the field, 34% from three, 71% from the line. He got off to an abysmal start this year for the Clippers. 4 points per game in October, 6 in November, barely played in December. What is Atlanta doing? And also what kind of sucks about Terrence Mann, maybe they wanted a tradable contract, but he's under contract for the next 4 years at a decent amount of money. What? What is Atlanta doing at this deadline? I have no idea what they're doing. This might be, how did the Clippers get back picks in this deal? I mean, I know Terrence Mann is 28. What is Bogey? 32? He's 32. But still, I mean, Bogey's been bad this year. Okay. I didn't realize his numbers were that bad. Maybe it's been a minute since I checked. All right, I guess. Wow, I didn't realize Bogey was that bad last time I checked his numbers. I mean, he's due $16 million next year. I don't know. It's just still like a weird deadline from the Atlanta Hawks as a whole. Like, you trade DeAndre Hunter for Karis LeVert, George Niang, and some second round picks and some swaps that probably aren't going to convey. And then you trade Bogdan Bogdanovic for Terrence Mann. I mean, the fact that you're going to give up seconds in this deal kind of stinks. But Bogey has been bad, and he's not a great defender. And if his shot is not there, I mean, he's not much of an asset for them. Like, he's been there since 21. Damn, we really saw Bogey fall off this year. Like, notable regression. I mean, he has missed some time. Personal. Yeah, I feel like when guys are personal, they're usually getting traded in a way. I mean, the Clippers now have like a $16 million trade asset in the offseason. We'll see if they can even move him. But I like the trade for the Clippers because I think Bogdan and the Clippers offense under Ty Lue, I think should be a little bit better because his usage should not be as high. EB, thank you for the donation, man. I'm always with the Hawks. So many F trades only to get money out the door. Hate the anti-luxury tax approach. Trey about to walk. I know, right? How pissed is Trae Young going to be if they end up giving like a top 4 pick to San Antonio? And they had the number 1 pick last year, and it was like the weakest draft in a while, and they get Reese Shea. I don't know how I feel about this deal, man. Like, trading DeAndre Hunter, I mean, they're waving the white flag this year, but you don't have your first-round pick. So I don't get it. I don't get it. Like, if you had your first-round pick, I totally get it, but they don't own their first. Yeah, we'll see if this happens in the final 26 minutes. Huh. Oh, my God. Wait, how did Kuzma veto it? He doesn't have a no-trade clause. What? I guess, I mean, Wendy's probably saying this on ESPN. I feel like he doesn't tweet as much. X2, thank you for the donation, man. Zion should get traded for McNugget meal. Oh, my God, stop. I don't know. Weird deadline for Atlanta. I don't want to say that they're losers, but they might be. I guess so far, guys, give me your biggest losers at the deadline. Do you think Dallas is a flat-out loser? Or do you think, Like, Atlanta's a loser. Do you think New Orleans, Toronto? Like, how's your opinion on the Ingram trade? How's your opinion on the Jimmy trade, the Fox trade? Who would you say are your biggest losers at the deadline? Andy, thank you for the £2 donation. Do you think the Nets could trade Cam Johnson for Topic? I'd be all over that. But I don't think Presti wants to move somebody that has that much team control like Topic going forward. Easily Dallas, Atlanta, Raptors won the trade. Bulls are big losers. Yeah, I would say the Bulls. Like, trading Levine too late. We're finding out that teams traded guys too late. Kuzma was traded too late. Ingram was traded too late. Levine was traded too late. Timberwolves are big losers. Timberwolves not making any moves. Kind of stinks, but they are a second apron team right now. Kings are big losers I'm seeing in the chat. Atlanta went over the cap in the Hunter trade and needed to get back under. Huh. Interesting. Is LeVert, what? LeVert was making 16. Yang was making, what, 8? I guess that's a little bit more than what Hunter was making. Suns are big losers. I would say so. Like, destroying your locker room, probably not ideal. Probably not ideal whatsoever. The Knicks are big losers. Okay. Okay. We got almost 6,000 people in here. Thank you, guys. We are in the final 34 minutes of the trade deadline. Thank you for the $5 donation, Internet Rando. Oh, man, I appreciate that. Hopefully everything's okay, man. I'm glad I could be an outlet for you. And thank you so much for the donation, man. You really didn't have to do that. I appreciate that a lot. It means a lot. Patrick Williams to the Knicks. I mean, they can't even do that with Mitchell Robinson. It would have to be like Mitchell Robinson and Achua. I mean, I don't mind Patrick Williams as a defender for the Knicks if he can be locked in. I think Patrick Williams, like, can still tap into what he was supposed to be. But maybe that's just not going to happen in Chicago. Goku, what are the Blazers doing? Thank you for the donation. The Blazers have been one of the hotter teams in the NBA, but I agree. Them not moving, just at least Robert Williams. They are 9-1 in their last 10. But why? I mean, I think winning is good for their culture right now, and just seeing Scoot develop with Tumani Kamara and Klingon and Denny and guys that are going to be part of your future is great. But man, how much better would your future be if you ended up with a Cooper Flag? But if you're going to give yourself a really low chance at getting him, kind of stinks. Lakers are losers. What? I don't think so. I think the Mark Williams trade definitely has some risk to it if he can't stay consistently healthy. But dude, you're the Lakers. You're gonna be like, you have Luka Doncic. You're gonna be fine in 2031. So that first round pick shouldn't really matter that much. Heat are big winners. Yeah, I think the Heat are winners in this deadline for sure. I think just getting like a first round pick from the Warriors that could end up being like 14 in this draft, and you can add like another shooter. I think it's a good point guard draft. And they could somehow land like Jeremiah Fears, and they could somehow land Nolan Traore, Ben Seraph. I don't know about LeBaron Philon. Cam Jones, though, that could be a good range for the Heat. What's up, Joshua? Spurs have the Hawks pick, yeah, which is so perplexing what Atlanta is doing. I don't know who would trade for Trae Young in the offseason, because San Antonio always made sense. But because they have one, they needed a point guard to get Wemby the ball, but they got that. But they also have the first round picks. Who would trade for Trae Young in the offseason? Miami would be fun. Houston, maybe, right? Houston, maybe. Brooklyn, I don't know. But they'll have the assets. Orlando would be sick, but they'd be a second apron team pretty quickly. Emmett, thank you for the donation. Huge fan of the Hornets deadline so far. They had no intention of trading Mark, but that's a good package. And fleecing Phoenix is sweet. I agree. It's been a good deadline for Charlotte. I just wish they didn't draft T-John Salon. Like, imagine they drafted, I'm just going to double check myself, right? Like, Salon went ahead of Donovan Clingan. Yeah, like, we flipped that around, and this trade, I think, looks a little bit better. I just didn't love the Salon pick, and I think he's a couple years away. But I agree, it's been a good deadline. People are saying the Kings. I mean, you can kind of get there. They would really have to trade their draft capital. The Raptors are interesting. Indiana, whoa, they got Halliburton. That wouldn't make a lot of sense. Pelicans, what? We said DeJounte Murray back to the Hawks. Raptors, I mean, the Raptors are going to have the assets because they have most of their draft capital, and they got that Emmanuel Quickley contract to easily match the money. But, I mean, the thing about Atlanta is they don't own their draft capital, or they don't own their picks. So, I don't know. They're in a weird spot. I don't really agree with what Atlanta has done at the deadline. I think I'd rather have just kept DeAndre Hunter. I don't even think they got a good enough return for him. I think they just traded him just to trade him. I think their front office thinks they own their draft picks. Fiji, thank you for the $2 donation. Young to the Wolves for Randall offseason. I mean, it would cost you a lot more than Randall. It would cost you Dillingham, maybe McDaniels in that trade. But I would love to see Trae Young and Anthony Edwards in the backcourt. Osvaldo, thank you for the $2 donation. I'm going to my first NBA game, Lakers versus T-Wolves and MVP. Dude, that's going to be a fun game. Enjoy it, man. It's going to be a sick game. Heat, I think the Heat are going to have plenty of assets to get this deal done. Hero, Trae in the backcourt defensively kind of rough. But if you have Ware, I don't know if Ware would have to be in the trade. But Ware and Bam to anchor that team defensively is fun. And Hayward Highsmith. Justin, thank you for the $5 donation. I'm glad the Celtics didn't do much because we don't need to do much as champs. I think the Celtics, yeah, are fine staying pat, just trading Jaden Springer to save some money, as they're going to be a team that should, like, even though Cleveland made a move, I think still Boston could be favorite in a series, depending on how, like, they look health-wise. I think Torrey Craig did get waived, yeah. Do you think the Wizards trade any of Brogdon, Reggie Jackson, Kispert, or Holmes? Probably not Holmes or Jackson, unless it's in a very small move. Kispert, Poison Pill makes it kind of complicated to know. I thought Brogdon could have been moved for like Clint Capella. Maybe we see something that happens because the money does work out. It's just Brogdon is making a lot of money. I was actually supposed to do something on my phone, and then I saw the Shams trade basically go down. I gotta do one thing here. Not Ware or Jovic. But you're trading for Trae Young. You're gonna have to give up something. I get not wanting to trade Ware, but Jovic would have to be in the deal. Because why would Atlanta really want Hawkes, who's already kind of up there in age for somebody that's just in his second year? Not up there in age like he's old, but like if Atlanta's rebuilding, why do they want Hawkes, right? Let's see what we got here. Mark Williams was a great pickup for the Lakers. Yeah, what would you say is like your favorite trade at the deadline? Either it's your favorite team or maybe it's another team's move. Like, what's your favorite deal that happened at the deadline? Shams this year, prime Woj. I mean, Shams was literally blessed, like Luka, or the Lakers were blessed by getting Luka on a silver platter. Shams was blessed with this trade deadline with no Woj to compete with. Fox to the Spurs. Dude, Fox looks so smooth in a Spurs jersey. Like, literally a perfect fit against Atlanta the other night. Fox looks so good. And I forgot to start him in fantasy because I didn't know if he was playing that game or not. He got like a 36 on my bench. I was pissed. Hunter or Luka, yeah. Cavs getting Hunter. Tice the Thunder. I mean, the Thunder, they're just getting picks like they always do. Ingram to the Raptors. Sorry, I had to come up with a thumbnail idea for the grading every team's video that's going to come out hopefully around like 5-ish today Eastern time. So be on the lookout for that. BI to the Raptors, happy with Charlotte. I do agree Charlotte has had a nice deadline. For sure. Fox trade, for sure. If you guys could leave a thumbs up on the stream, it can go a long way. I'd appreciate that. It's right, I feel like the Pistons had to make another move. Like, they've had a weird deadline. I think they're just using their roster spots, their cap space. But, like, can we get Cade some help? It doesn't have to be anybody crazy. But, like, KJ Martin, Josh Richardson, these guys don't really move the needle for me. They don't. They couldn't even get Alec Burks in all of this. Just want to see if anybody's tweeted anything out. 26 minutes to go. Yep. All right, so the 3 second-round picks heading to Atlanta, from Atlanta to LA. 25 Minnesota. All right, so that's probably around like 50 this year. 27 Clippers, and then 26 Memphis, but it's protected 43 to 60. What does that even mean? So you get it if it's 30 to 43. See, that's really confusing. The NBA with these protections is kind of crazy. Because you can like imagine seeing a first round pick protected from basically what would be the equivalent of this? It would be 17 to 30. Like, imagine seeing that some team predicted the end of the first round. It would be wild. Yeah, that's weird. That's weird. Yeah, right? Like, does Utah make a move? Does Portland make a move at the end of the deadline here? Brooklyn hasn't made a move yet. I guess they're just not getting the offers that they want for Cam Johnson. KD to the Pistons. Oh my God, KD and Cade. I'd love that. I don't even know if they'd have the assets to get this done. You would have to trade away Asar, Holland, Stewart, Duren, like a mixture of those guys and all your picks. Probably wouldn't make sense for Detroit in their timeline now that they're finally like relevant again. No, I don't mean that in disrespect to the Pistons fans, but come on. For the previous years. I keep forgetting the Super Bowl is literally Sunday. This trade deadline has taken over the NBA. I actually didn't tweet out that I was live, so let me do that. Sorry about that. Thank you for the donation, TH. Thoughts on the Wizards deals? How do you like Johnson? Hey, I like them taking a flyer on AJ Johnson. Bucks fans hated me when I said I hated that pick for them in the draft. It just didn't fit their timeline. And you're going to look at me with a straight face that Ryan Dunn wouldn't have helped them this year with their defensive issues compared to AJ Johnson, who was probably like 3 years away from being a good rotational piece. And I'm glad AJ Johnson can now spend some time and hopefully a better player development staff in Washington. He's 20 years old, extremely raw as a prospect. Dude, I like that for Kyle Kuzma. I mean, they traded Kuzma way too late. They should have traded him a few years ago, but I still think it's a good move for them. Shut up, Schefter, not your day. Is Shefty tweeting out? He probably just wants to get involved in the trade deadline. He's probably jealous of everything that's going on right now. For sure. For sure. Sexton for Boucher and picks. I mean, Toronto getting some offense right now is kind of nice. Where did I used to work before YouTube, Matt? I worked at Chase or JP Morgan. And then, yeah, did YouTube full-time about a year ago. And it's looking like a good decision for me so far. I just don't know, like, if this doesn't lead to anything else in sports. I don't know if I'm going to continue to do this full-time. It's just, like, trying to figure out where I'm going to be in a few years. Cooper comes to the Chargers. That'd be sick, man. Did the NFL want to get involved in trades? I know Myles Garrett requested a trade. Hey, if you're a Mets fan, shout out to Pete Alonso. I'm a Mets fan. Pacers have to make a trade? Yeah. Like, we've seen a lot of teams not make trades that I thought maybe would. Like, would the Pacers have made a trade? I don't know if the Knicks Celtics could have made a bigger move. Detroit hasn't really made anything like notable to help out Cade. Orlando hasn't really made a trade. Brooklyn hasn't really sold as much as we thought they would. Memphis, Houston, Denver, OKC, or not the Clippers, they just made a deal. Minnesota, all haven't really made notable moves. And then the selling teams, like Pelicans are not trading CJ. They did trade Ingram. Utah and Portland, they really haven't sold yet. They haven't sold yet. Why aren't the Jazz trading anyone? Yeah, right? Maybe they just think that's more of an offseason idea, but kind of weird. Kind of weird. Grizzlies are not locked in, I guess so. I mean, they're just never like an aggressive team, I feel like. I feel like they kind of stay pat. Stay pat, stay put. They're pretty conservative. Smart to the Bucks. I mean, for like Brook Lopez. I mean, I don't hate it. I don't. Because Smart's at least under contract throughout the offseason to use as another trade asset. And who knows? Maybe Lopez retires at the end of the year. No John Collins move is crazy. I agree. Like, I wonder if Milwaukee could have traded Middleton and AJ Johnson for John Collins. Maybe not. Maybe Utah's like, we can re-sign Collins in the offseason. Tie more to the Spurs for second round draft compensation. Like, if Utah or if San Antonio could pull that off, you should do that 100%. Send Sabonis to Houston. Whoa. Sabonis and Şengün on the same team. We just got to get Jokic, Şengün, and Sabonis all on the same team. It's like the Pokemon meme. You think Connect can turn into an elite 20 or 24, 25 point per game score? I don't know. The thing about Connect, he's already 23. He's going to be 24 at the start of next year. Like, I think there's a good chance that he's basically similar to Jaime Jaquez. People are saying Shams. People are saying Shams. What do we got? Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? No way. No way. No way. No way. I can't. That is insane. That is insane. The Hawks are trading Cody Zeller and Houston's 2028 second round pick to the Rockets? What? I can't even do that with a straight face. What? I mean, what a weird deadline for the Hawks. I mean, this trade doesn't really matter. but they're giving up a second round pick. They're just trying to save money against the luxury tax, I guess. Damn. I didn't expect the Hawks to be the cheap team at the deadline. I mean, like, Philly, they've kind of been like that before. But, yeah, Atlanta just making weird moves. I mean, like, this one obviously doesn't matter. I'm not going to clown on them for this deal. But, yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. I agree, Tyrone. We got 6,000 viewers, but only, what, 2.7 thousand likes? Drop a thumbs up. Or under 2K likes. Yeah, drop a thumbs up on the stream if you guys do enjoy. It can go a long way. It takes 2 seconds. I appreciate it. Hawks, weird team at the deadline. I mean, they're really just trying to save money right now. So I guess it's more so them trying to get under the luxury tax, save some money. I don't know if Bobby Marks has maybe tweeted about this. Yeah, there you go. That's exactly why. It's owners being owners. I mean, I'm fine with the Hawks being under the luxury tax for where they are right now. But this makes me think they're done. Do the Hawks know they don't have their first round pick at the end of the year? I don't know. I don't know. What do I think LAC needs next? I thought they could have made a little bit of a bigger move for Kobe White, but that's not happening. What they gave up for Bogey, I thought they could have given up for Jordan Clarkson. Maybe Clarkson would have gone for a little bit more. We got over 6,200 people in here. Thank you, guys. As we're into the final 20 minutes of the 2025 historic trade deadline. Marshmallow, thank you for the $2 donation. Why hasn't Clarkson been moved to a contender? I agree. Maybe the Jazz are like, you know what? There's no point in trading him. We're getting nothing good in return. But I kind of disagree with that. Hawks collecting picks? Or Houston collecting picks? I mean, yeah, they get their second round pick back in 28. It's just like second rounders are, I don't know. What are they going to do with these seconds? Yeah, Shams. Shams didn't post a picture of Cody Zeller. Do you not think this is a historic trade deadline? I mean, if this isn't a historic trade deadline, I don't know if there ever will be one then. Because of how crazy this one is. I do feel bad for Trae Young. People are saying Dennis Schroeder to the Pistons. Okay. I mean, that's something. Okay, there we go. I like that for Detroit. I do. They get at least something, right? They're adding a talent that can help them right now. It probably didn't cost them anything, but that is a good pickup for Detroit. I mean, I wonder how him and Cade can operate, but Schroeder has had his moments this year, and it just didn't work out in Golden State. Like, I can't wait to look back on this deadline, and when I grade all these deals like a year from now, and I grade the Schroeder to Golden State, probably not going to get a good grade by any means. Sucks to see Knicks not make a move. I know. Like, Delon Wright doesn't really move me as a defender. Yeah, what Dennis Schroeder said comparing... Yeah, if you guys saw that, that was crazy. Crazy. And I don't know if he's ever going to let that down. Like, people in the chat are saying he's this guy now. Dennis Goat Bag Fumbler. Yeah, he turned down a lot of money from the Lakers a couple years ago. I mean, Weezy still set for life. But yeah, he could have been living in another tax bracket. If maybe he had a better agent. I'm not sure. So Shams did not report that. So how did Underdog find out about that? Do you know who does anybody know who broke the Schroeder news? Was it Chris Haynes? It was not Chris Haynes. Bobby to the Wolves? Portis? Interesting. That's an idea. But I don't know if they need somebody in that realm because of Nas and McDaniels. So he never turned down the Lakers. There wasn't an offer. Either way. You think Capella gets traded? I thought so. I thought Capella was going to get traded more likely than DeAndre Hunter. Mark Stein broke the news. Did not see this. Oh, Haynes just said it on NBA TV. Gotcha. That makes sense. Refresh. KD to OKC. Free Trae Young. Stop. Fitz, thank you for the $2 donation. Should the Pistons make any other moves right now? I mean, I would have liked if they got involved in Brandon Ingram or if they got involved in CJ McCollum because I don't think it was going to cost them much. But I think the Pistons are probably going to stay put. I got to stop saying stay pat. And so their first round pick is lottery protected. I mean, it kind of I'm sure their fans would trade away losing their first round pick at 16 if that means they make the playoffs. But I mean, for their future, not the worst idea if they lose in the playing tournament and they just add another lottery pick in this upcoming draft. We got 15 minutes to go. 15 minutes to go here at the 2025 trade deadline. Yeah, just the weirdest deadline for Atlanta. I'm trying to think like who this reminded me of last year at the deadline. I don't know. Like there were some weird moves last year. I thought like Washington trading away Gafford. They kind of didn't sell the highest value on, but obviously Gafford has been more important to Dallas playing with like Luka Doncic as a point guard. What could the Bucks do to get better or younger? I mean, Miles Bridges, I don't think would cost them too much. If they could do like a Bobby Portis, Brook Lopez, maybe trade. Patrick, thank you for the donation. Any chance Aiden or Time Ward or both get moved? Aiden, definitely not. Time Ward, I still think so. We got 14 minutes left. Derek Boots, thank you for the $2 donation. Will the Pacers make any moves? I was expecting an Obi Toppin for backup center deal. Not sure if that's happening anymore. Yeah, so I'm going to be streaming for the next, like, 15 minutes. I honestly didn't think I was going to be able to complete the 3 hours just, like, the way I've been feeling today. So, thank you guys for making this go a little bit easier. Thank you for asking stuff in the chat. And making this go on a little bit, yeah, more easier for me, who's had a rough 72 hours, I would say, like, physically. Shams, people are saying. Yeah, we knew this. Sources tell ESPN, you know what, Shams? You know what, like, guys in the MLB do? Like, I want to see Shams have more respect for the industry. Chris Haynes broke that on NBA TV, I think. Like, if you look at Ken Rosenthal, geez, does he tweet this out? Like, they will say they got it first. I want to see Shams say, no, yeah, sources tell, but I could say that. I'd be like, sources tell me. 10 minutes, sorry, after we knew about this. I want to see Shams have some honor and say Chris Haynes was first on it. But then again, like Chris Haynes would have to be like or Mark Stein. Everything would be like Shams had it first. So I want to see them do it too. Yeah, this makes sense. Why would they not want Dennis Schroeder? Luka on the Lakers is crazy. I agree. Talk about the Bucks deadline. I don't love the Kuzma deal. I don't really think it makes them that much better. I thought we were going to see another move now that they weren't a second apron team. Could we still see a move in the next 13 minutes? Yeah. But we'll see. Let's see. Yeah, the Hawks deadline's weird, EB. I agree, man. Why did the Knicks go after Boucher? I think it's just because the Raptors don't want to trade with the Knicks. The Knicks literally sued the Raptors in the offseason for, like, the assistant coach stealing the Knicks' plays when he went to Toronto. So, I just don't think we're going to see a Knicks-Raptors trade again for a while, as long as Masai Ujiri and James Dolan are big decision-makers in their respective organizations, unless it makes total sense. Check Bob Myers. Does Bob Myers even tweet? Does he even have a Twitter account? No, not that I know of. Interesting. Like, you're so random to say that in the chat. But hey, applaud the creativity. I guess this is maybe what he meant. They're excellent on talent acquisition. They're not good at team building. Huh? Maybe not. So what? You're good at acquiring talent, but you're not good at acquiring the right talent, I guess, is what that means. Oh, that's why he said Bob Myers. Okay. So you weren't weird for saying that. That's on me, man. Interesting. I mean, I thought I came up, like, I did a Bleacher Report stream yesterday, and I thought the Grizzlies did make sense for Kevin Durant. Because they have easily the assets to pull this off. Easy assets to pull this off. Without even giving up Desmond Bane. You can give up Marcus Smart, Brandon Clark. I think you can do, like, one of these good young assets. I don't know if it's Shake LaRavia, G.G. Jackson. I don't know if that would work straight up for KD. No. I'd have to cut $13 million. So it is tough to actually get this deal done without Desmond Bane. But it is possible. Because you could do something like this. I mean, I don't really know if that makes Phoenix that much better. Yeah, I think Desmond Bane would be included in that deal. But oh my god, Desmond Bane. Desmond Bane, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal. That's too redundant. Let's see, anything from Shams? No. We're about to get into, like, the final hours of the deadline. The final minutes. That feels like hours. We have 11 minutes left of the 2025 trade deadline. This is where legends are made. Are we going to see a deal out of nowhere? Cam Johnson, John Collins, Colin Sexton. Any of these guys going to get moved? Kobe White. Are we going to see any notable moves? Okay, so, like, shout out Jake Fisher. He said this person was first on it. So shout out to Omari from the Detroit Free Press. Check Sentinel, right? Yeah. All right. So yeah, we got 10 minutes left. 10 minutes left. Been live streaming for 3 hours for you guys. Kind of crazy. Kind of crazy. Did not think I was going to be doing 3 full hours, but here we are pushing through. And we're at the end of the deadline. It's crazy because, like, we got so many videos that come out off this deadline. I'll be doing a post-trade deadline mock draft, post-trade deadline power rankings. Gonna grade every trade. Hopefully we'll be out today. I want to rank every team's future as well after the trade deadline because I think that will be very interesting. And yeah, we're about to see, I think the NBA switch a ton. Because even if KD, Trae Young, they're not going to get moved at the deadline, those guys, they're going to come up in trade talks in the offseason for sure. How is Golden State going to be in the second half with Jimmy Butler? How is, I don't know, Dallas in the second half going to be with Anthony Davis? So many big question marks. So many big question marks. Come on, give me one more notable trade. Alec, thank you, man. I appreciate the kind words. Hey, thank you, Thomas Poole. I appreciate that. Yeah, if you guys could drop a thumbs up on the stream, it really does go a long way. Thank you. Fire David Griffin. Probably an angry Pelicans fan. I feel you, man. I'm sorry. As they have no remaining assets from the Anthony Davis trade anymore. Fisher-Bomb. Let's see what he said. Yeah, I guess Dennis Schroeder is not going to be one of the top buyout guys anymore because the Pistons are going to keep him. Gotcha. So KJ Martin and Josh Richardson in a second get rerouted to Utah. I'd assume that Josh Richardson is going to get bought out. I'm not sure if KJ Martin would get bought out. So we got 8 minutes left. Pistons playing. Yep. Blazers and Jazz, Nets are not going to make a move. Interesting. 8 minutes left. 8 minutes left. What do we got here? Vooch to the Warriors, is that going to happen in the final 8 minutes? Hainsbaum. Oh my god, you guys, oh my god. You guys tease me way too much. Are you kidding me? Reggie Jackson is waived? Alright, best buyout guy of all time. Best buyout guy of all time. Somebody said Shams. Nah, nothing from Shams. KD going back to the Nets. Nothing like KD trying to win a ring before he retires. Another one to go to the 17-34 Brooklyn Nets. Yeah. So we got 7 minutes left. Are you guys, like, as an NBA fan, would you rather all the deals happen like they kind of did spread out, or would you rather have, like, the Brandon Ingram, Jimmy Butler deals go down in, like, the final 20 minutes? Parried up. Thank you for the donation, man. I appreciate it. Quinn Logan, thank you for the $5 donation. Why are the Hawks selling without owning their first dude? I agree. I don't know. I literally don't get the Atlanta Hawks trade deadline. I don't whatsoever. Brady, thank you for the donation, man. Glad I can entertain you. And Patrick Lewis, thank you for the donation, man. As a longtime supporter, it's been cool to see your progress. Dude, means a lot. Means a ton. Thank you, man. Let's see what we got here. Final 20. Why is people saying final 20? What does that mean? Final 10. I'm confused. Final 10 seconds. Is that like an account? What does final 20 mean? Is that some lingo I don't know? Am I too old for that? I don't know. Final 1. Final minutes? We got 6 minutes left. Somebody said John Collins, and I was like, oh, I could see him getting traded. We got 6 minutes left. We're almost at 7,000 viewers. If you guys could drop a thumbs up on the stream, it really does go a long way. I'd appreciate that a ton. 6 minutes left. This is going to be like the longest 6 minutes ever. We'll probably stay on till like 3:05 Eastern time because deals could be made like right after the buzzer. I think it's just as long as they get him to the league office. Somebody said NBA Central, and it's just a Kendrick Perkins. I don't even care. Central? Is that what is this like a Central thing? No, it is not. Or maybe it is. I don't know. Somebody said Central. It's just like funny. Somebody gets a notification from Central, and it's a Kendrick Perkins tweet. This is Kendrick Perkins quote. Capella's still on your team? Yeah, man, I agree. It's kind of tough out here. It is tough. We got 5 minutes left. 5 minutes left of the 2025 trade deadline. Let's see a deal go down. Come on, give me something. We've seen deals go down in the final minutes before, so we're not dead yet. We're not dead yet. Let's see what we got here. Let's see what we got here. Daniel, in a way, but not really too much. Marshmallow, thank you for the $5 donation. As a Lakers fan, this has been a great and sad deadline. Gonna miss AD and Connect. Thank you, man, for your support. But hey, you're okay with this deadline. Getting Luka, the future. Somebody said Shams. Somebody said Shams. Everyone's saying Shams. Okay, what do we got here? The Memphis Grizzlies are trading Marcus Smart, a 2025 first-round pick, to the Washington Wizards in a multi-team trade that sends 2 second-round picks to Memphis. Wow. Why is Memphis doing this? I assume it's to be in the buyout market, but wow, this is a great trade for Washington. Getting a first for taking on Marcus Smart and just get another veteran in the locker room. This is one of the more notable trades, I think, at the deadline. What is Memphis cooking? Why do they need that roster spot? I assume it's for the buyout market, and obviously they clear up $20 million in salary in this deal, but they could have moved Smart in the offseason. But maybe he's looked at as such a negative asset, they had to trade their 2025 first-round pick to the Wizards. Dude, I love this for the Wizards. I thought the Hornets should probably have been all in this as well, as 35-16. The Wizards are 9-41, but hey, you had Chris Middleton, and you add, wait, people are saying Shams again. Oh my God. You guys scared me. I thought Kevin Durant got traded. Oh my God. Oh my God. I thought this was a KD trade. But I think I was seeing KPJ. Oh my God. I don't know why I thought this was a KD trade. I was about to say, holy. Apparently the Knicks are done for the day, sadly, according to Ian Begley. Damn. Yeah. That is interesting. Actually, I guess Milwaukee adds a little bit of offense. Clippers add a little bit of defense. But Marjon Beauchamp was going to be free agent at the end of the year, as the Bucks didn't pick up his team option under his rookie deal. So I don't mind the Clippers taking a flyer on him. It's kind of like when they did with Bones Highland years ago. And then they, Bones Highland, we're like, why did the Nuggets trade away Bones Highland? And we found out why. Yeah, that is an interesting deal. I really thought that was KD. I don't know if a lot of people in the chat said that, but I thought it was KD. I bless. Thank you for the $5 donation. I remember watching your live when KP got traded to Washington in school. Yeah, dude, the 2022 trade deadline was the goated one for me until this year's. And I appreciate you, man, being a follower since. Yeah, I thought that was going to be like a KD trade. I don't think KD's getting traded. I don't. We got 2 minutes left. Damn, no Jazz trades, no Nets trades, no Vucevic trade. We'll see if we got anything coming down to the buzzer here. Woj is retired, man. Woj is retired. Shams, check CTE, ESPN. Yeah, I think AB is breaking some stuff for sure. What did Chris Haynes say? Because he doesn't work for ESPN, just sources tell me. Because I don't know. I guess he appears on NBA TV. Joe Arcey, thank you for the $5 donation. Been watching you since 2018. This deadline has been crazy. Still planning on coming to watch a Spurs game. Dude, I've never been to San Antonio, and I gotta watch Wemby and the Spurs here. Somebody said Chris Haynes. Nothing from Haynes. Unless there's something that hasn't loaded yet. KD's been traded. Kings are... Oh! All right. Sacramento getting in on Jake Laravia. I kind of love that for them. What did it cost them? They're clearing up another roster spot? Laravia could shoot the ball, can handle the rock a little bit. 6'8". I didn't really love Laravia after his first 2 years. But wow. That is I don't know what he costs. What is Memphis cooking? What is Memphis cooking? Why are they freeing up all these roster spots? Is there something that's about... Maybe this is just the buyout market? People are saying KD to the Grizzlies. Oh, man. I mean, they would have to offer... God, is Shams' thing not loading? Please. Stop. Stop. Cam to the Grizz. I'm confused. What are they cooking? What is Memphis cooking? I don't know if we're going to see a KD trade in the final minute. Everyone in the chat is saying KD to the Grizz. You guys are all trolls if it doesn't actually happen. It's over. Trade deadline, buzzer beater. Wow. Yeah, my thing is just lagging so much now. Yeah, that is interesting. GG. I mean, there could be deals that happen like the final minute or two. So let's see. Let's see. Because there are deals that usually... I think KP to the Wizards may have happened after the deadline, or there was one of those deals. No, actually, I don't know about that one. Let's see what we got here. Let's see what we got here. I would like to know what the return is for. Like, KD stays, not surprised, but why did Memphis want to free up all these roster spots? Right? I mean, John Collins and Colin Sexton, there could be a deal that happens, but they just traded away Marcus Smart for no player in return. And did they just trade away Jake Laravia for no player in return? Jake Laravia heads to the Kings. Oladipo one happened after the deadline. Oh, yeah, when he got traded to the Heat, I think. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what he was traded for. KD to the Dodgers. People were saying Mark Stein. That's what the return. Alex Len and Colby Jones. What? That's a great trade. That's a great trade for the Kings. I really like that for them. People were saying Shams. Wiseman. My Shams just account is not loading. I don't know why. It's probably so much traction on his account. It's kind of insane. Indiana Pacers are trading James Wiseman and cash to the Raptors. I'm sure Pacers fans are pissed about that deadline for them. Okay. I love this deal for the Kings. It barely costed them anything. Thank you for the donation, Perry. Thank you, man. Yeah, so we didn't get KD to get traded. This is a great pickup for the Kings. That helps out their trade deadline a little bit. I like them getting Laravia. Like, that is an asset. I don't know why Memphis wanted to trade him away. I know he didn't really play the other night. Right? And their win against the Raptors. He didn't play that much, right? Or was it somebody else I'm thinking of? Yeah, he only played 4 minutes. I guess you get Colby Jones, Alex Len. Well, Alex Len and Colby Jones are going to Washington. So Memphis just clears up a bunch of roster spots. Vooch to Golden State would be cool. The Magic did nothing. Wow. Raptors did good. I mean, yeah, getting cash at the deadline. But like, what does cash mean? Like, can you use that in your cap space? I don't think so. I should probably know that. Yeah. Interesting deadline, for sure. I guess, like, we weren't going to get, like, insane moves in the final hours just because of everything that happened leading up to this. We didn't get a KD trade. We didn't get a Zion trade, a McCollum trade. But I'm really shocked we didn't see we didn't see a Jazz trade. We didn't see a Brooklyn Nets trade. We didn't see a Robert Williams trade. Interesting stuff. Interesting stuff. But yeah, thank you guys all for coming out to the stream. I do really appreciate it. If you could drop a thumbs up before you go, it can really go a long way. And it would mean a lot for just kind of help growing the channel and stuff. And I would really appreciate it a ton. So yeah, gonna wrap this up. Let me just do this real quick. I don't even know what I'm doing here. There we go. All right. So yeah, thank you guys all for coming out. I really appreciate it. And yeah, if you guys can drop a thumbs up on this video or on the stream, if you can also maybe hit the like button, can go a long way. I don't think we're going to get any last second trades here. I thought maybe Kevin Durant was going to come in at the buzzer, but we're not going to see it. So I want to get started on my grading every deadline deal. So be on the lookout for that. Make sure you're subscribed. And yeah, once again, thank you guys.